much looking forward to this fifth and final day of action.
Our thanks go to sponsors and partners without whom this event would not be possible. Funding partner, Sport England. Official partner, TIER. Endorsed product, Sports Systems. Host city, marketing Sheffield and Sheffield International venues.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remember not to use flash photography during the start of races. Mobile phones and similar devices must also be switched off or turned to silent during the event, as they can distract the athletes. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you. Sunday morning here in Sheffield. Final day of action at the Swim England National Summer Meet 2017. As ever, I'm Jonathan Bell in the commentary box at the side opposite of the spectator gallery. Dave Rogers will be joining alongside me very soon indeed, but now he's enjoying himself on the podium. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, Jono. I hope you're well, and I'm looking forward to getting up there and commentating on the races with you later. Right now, though, I'm down on the podium because it's about as close as they'll let me before the action gets underway, and I'm close to this brilliant crowd. Hello, Ponds Forge! Do you know what? For a Sunday, that's not bad. A very warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for getting up early on a Sunday. And thanks to all of you who are watching at home as well. Probably in your dressing gowns with a cup of tea, but a very warm welcome nonetheless. Of course, it is the last day. It's been a remarkable week, and we have some brilliant heats for you this morning in the 200 and 100 backstroke. We've got some 50-meter butterfly and some 800 freestyle as well. So strap in. It's going to be another thrilling session. But of course, with the sadness of one brilliant event ending, it's time to start thinking about the next one that you're going to come and support. So why not start thinking about the 2nd to the 12th of August next year, where Glasgow 2018, the European Aquatics Championships, is going to be the only ticket in town. From Land's End to John O'Groats, nobody does world-class events like the United Kingdom. So hopefully, we're going to see you up there and witness some even more incredible sporting achievements by the greatest athletes on the planet. Tickets now available. You need to head over to glasgow2018.com.
A light is ready to shine throughout Glasgow and Scotland once again, when 3,000 European athletes will come together before our eyes to bet our bests for bars to raise, where in one instant a lifetime of ambition lies. Don't miss the chance to be with them at this incredible event, to witness the beauty of one human's endeavour towards a single moment that will last forever.
So do make sure, ladies and gentlemen, you get in touch with us this morning on the hashtag SE Swimming. Also, we have our fantastic competition going off as well. All you have to do is send us a picture or two of you, your friends, a selfie, whatever it is, in the crowd or at home as well, watching on the live stream. Of course, in venue as well. You may have noticed as you came into Ponds Forge the fantastic props that we have outside. Do make sure you get familiar with those, because we've had some cracking entries already consisting of those props of Swim England. So do make sure you get involved. A Tia kit bag is on offer. The hashtag SE Swimming, as you can see on the scoreboard, you've been getting involved all week with us. Continue to do the same on this final day of action here in Ponds Forge. So Dave soon will be joining me in the commentary position. We're ready for the morning to begin. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Goodness me, you were better with Dave. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? That's a lot more like it. Well, we're ready then up here in the stands. It's now time to introduce to the poolside our team of referees and technical officials. Ladies and gentlemen, your referees, Tom Baster and Andrew McRoberts. Your starters for this morning's session are Suzanne Johnson and Ralph Shortland. Officials, you may be seated. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, do be reminded about flash photography. No flash photography during the start of races during this morning's events. Dave, you're here.
Yes, got here in the end. It was a shame, really. I was hoping to have a bit more of a conversation with everyone down there. A lovely atmosphere building here for this final day, and just being down there on that podium as well gives me a bit of a feeling of what it's like. But just to hear all that noise come onto the starting blocks is incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope we can rely on your brilliant support in this morning's session.
And we are moments away from our first event of the morning session as well. Ladies and gentlemen, can you please welcome the athletes for the men's 200-metre backstroke. That kicks us off this morning. Of course, if you're watching on the live stream or in venue, do send in your good luck, your well wishes as well to the swimmers. And of course, if you want to reflect on any of last night's action as well, there certainly was a lot of it here in the pool. Do give us those congratulations tweets and let us know about personal best, medals, etc. Always much appreciated when you get involved with us. Hashtag SE Swimming, and we'll read out the best of those as well.
The first event is the Men's Open 200-metre backstroke. This is Heat 1. And the final day of the Swim England National Summer Meet is officially underway. We've got 8 heats in total in this men's 200-metre backstroke. These athletes looking to qualify for the finals later on. So we've got a mix of age groups in all these races, but it's mostly 13 and 14-year-olds in this heat number 1. In lane 0, we have Joseph Kingsland from Nova Centurion. Next to him at the turn in lane 1 is Daniel Day of Worcester. Jacob Whittle of Deventio XL is in lane 2. In 3, we have William Geary of Worcester. From Fairham Nomads in lane 4 is Joseph Davis. In 5, from Mount Kelly, Maxwell George. Ellis Stevenson of Newport Pagnell is in lane 6. Joseph Giles of Cirencester in 7. Hubert Godaniak of Plymouth Leander is in lane 8 as we come to the halfway point of this opening heat here. Turning first, Jacob Whittle of Deventio, 107.35. That's a decent time. And some pretty close qualifying times as well. The quickest, 2:21.41 from Joseph Davis. But only around about a second separating all of these swimmers in heat number 1 of this men's 200 backstroke. In lane 2, though, still going very, very well. Jacob Whittle in that gold cap. In the middle, Joseph Davis in the orange cap as well. But really, everyone kind of holding their own here and giving themselves a chance of putting in the best possible time as we reach the turn for the final 50 metres in heat number 1. Keep that noise going then, Ponds Forge. Jacob Whittle still leading, but the pack starting to catch him now. Joseph Davis going well in lane 4. Maxwell George in lane 5 is neck and neck with Ellis Stevenson in lane number 6 as well. And in fact, the man in lane 4, Joseph Davis, is finishing the strongest, as is Daniel Day of Worcester in lane 1. They're reeling in Jacob Whittle. So who will be the first to touch back in heat number 1? The clock nearing 2:20. And it is Jacob Whittle who just about holds on to win the heat and post a time of 2:21.09. Daniel Day, second quickest, 2:21.11. And in fact, provisionally, it's a dead heat as well. Yes, it is. Whittle, 2:21.09. And then Davis and Day, both 2:21.11. That is your top 3 in heat number 1. Next up, heat 2. Heat number 2. In lane 0 from Bracknell, we have Brogan Hyde. In lane 1 from Hackney, Kai Ogden from City of Birmingham. In lane number 2, we have Jamie Dart. William Ellis goes in 3 from Borough of Stockton. In 4 is Joseph Lenihan of Sutton Cheam. From Lincoln Vulcans in 5, it's Ethan Grace Riches. In 6 from Bolton Metro, Gabriel Glynn from St. Felix School. In 7 is Chester Leeming. Toma Tokiwa Smith from City of Derby is in 8, and making up the second heat in lane 9 from Dunstable is Walter Hackett. In lane 4, Joseph Lenihan leading through the first couple of lengths here as we approach the halfway point. Let's take a look at the time as well. He's currently the only person in the field with a set time under 2:20, 2:19.82 he has. And he's turned in first place there, 105.93. Ethan Grace Riches next to him in lane 5, those 2 gold rope lanes. Well, they turned in first and second at the half, but in lane 6, Gabriel Glynn from Bolton Metro started going well, and he's certainly got past Ethan Grace Riches. Joseph Lenihan Looking comfortable out there at the moment. They're around about half a length in front, but Gabriel Glynn has got quicker as the race has gone on, so it could be an interesting last 50 metres to see who posts the quickest time here in qualification. All of these swimmers, of course, looking for a time that will get them to the final this evening. Joseph Lenihan in lane 4, the only 15-year-old in this race. Everyone else 13 and 14 years of age. In lane 6, Gabriel Glynn. Definitely out in second here, but perhaps leaving in a little bit late to challenge Lenihan for the first time to be clocked here in heat number 2. So coming towards the end then, it is Lenihan who holds on to 17.21, a quick time for him. Glynn of Bolton Metro in second, 2:18.81. Jamie Dark, City of Birmingham in lane 2. He also dips under 2:20, 2:19.55 is quick enough for third. On to heat 3.
All the swimmers in the pool here in the 15-year category. In lane 0 from Leek, we have Callum Rushen. 1 from Stockport Metro, David Pugh. And 2 from RTW Monson is Andre Stridham. And 3, representing Haringey, is Alex Vonks. And 4 from Northampton is Giovanni Bordon. In 5 from Stockport Metro, Benjamin Foster. Henry Wirral of West Dorset goes in 6. In 7 from Kingston upon Hull, Alexander Everson. Lane 8 from Millfield, Simon Swetman. And in 9 from City of Peterborough, Miles Robinson-Young. Well, certainly not too even at the early stages, but nevertheless no one pulling out in front at this stage either. In front at the turn there after the first 50 was Miles Robinson-Young in lane 9, but that has now switched hands into the path of Andre Stridham of RTW Monson going in lane 2, who was second at that initial turn, and he now will be in first. Benjamin Foster in lane 5 and Giovanni Bordon in lane 4. Both tucked away, just currently in second spot at the moment. Of course, when the swimmers are in the same year category, and they're vying for the same spots in tonight's finals, and then it really is a straight shootout. Some heats you do get in these events where it doesn't really matter where you finish in the heats, it's all about the times. But here, when you're against a full pool of rivals, you really do want to finish as high as you possibly can. And starting to get that memo is Benjamin Foster in 5 of Stockport Metro. I think he's going to be first here going into the final 50 metres or so. He certainly is. Andre Stridham in 2 is up there, and David Pugh getting stronger and stronger in the second half of this heat as well. The Stockport Metro swimmer going in lane 1. So into the final 25 metres we go, and the front 3 at the moment very even indeed. Lane 5, Benjamin Foster of Stockport Metro. In lane 2, Andre Stridham of RTW Monson. And in lane 1, also of Stockport Metro, David Pugh. But it looks like it will be his teammate in 5, Benjamin Foster, who will cruise home in the end in this one. Touches in with a time of 2:17.78. A Stockport 1-2 completed by David Pugh on 2:18.69. And in third position, Andre Stridham of RTW Monson completes the fastest trio, all inside 2:19.5 at the top of that leaderboard there. Confirmation of it on the screen now as we move on next to heat number 4. Here we go then as we reach the halfway point in these heats of the men's 200-metre backstroke. First event of this final morning session here at Ponds Forge, going along very nicely indeed so far. In lane 0 this time around is Medallions Jack Tremaine. In 1 from Romford Town, Jude Ward. In 2 from Basildon and Phoenix is Samuel Perks. In 3, representing City of Sheffield, is Owen Ottaway. Matthew Burton of Maxwell goes in 4. Alongside him in 5 is Team Bath's Mark Edmondson. In 6 from Plymouth Leander is Tobias Fredericks. In 7 from City of Salford is Alexander Morley. In lane 8 from Beckenham is Finley Maxwell. And in 9 from Bournemouth Collegiate is Alex Bryant. So the central 3 lanes, 3, 4 and 5, all in the 16-year category. The rest all in the 15 years. And of course, these are the last set of 15-year-old swimmers as well to take part. They know what the benchmark is. They saw it in Heat 3 with Benjamin Foster's time. Now they have to go out there and get around about that time in order to safely secure themselves back here tonight in the final of this event. In terms of Owen Ottaway in 3, Matthew Burton in 4, Mark Edmondson in 5. It's a full pool of 16-year-olds up next, who will raise the bar the highest. Currently in 4, Matthew Burton is gliding nicely across the water, but just a little bit quicker, or as quick, should I say, in 8 is Finley Maxwell of Beckenham as well. And they will turn more or less together in that front 3, with Mark Edmondson up there as well in lane 5. Jack Tremaine is doing a very good job in lane 0 as well of Modernian. He may be worth keeping an eye on as we go into the back end of this one. And beginning to emerge as well in lane 2 is Samuel Perks in the bright orange of Basildon and Phoenix, who currently is in joint 3rd with Jack Tremaine in lane 0, and that is because Finley Maxwell in 8 is beginning to slightly drop off the pace. But we look down the spine of the pool, and Matthew Burton in 4, Mark Edmondson in 5, 2 16-year-olds looking to set the fastest time for the next heat coming up, and it'll be 2:15 on the dot, set by Mark Edmondson of Team Bath, with 2nd spot being occupied by Matthew Burton of Maxwell. The front 3 in the end completed by Jack Tremaine of Modernian, who did a super job on the back 50 there in order to worm himself into that front 3 position. Of course, doesn't really matter where you finish in the heats, as I stressed before, all about the times. It's very nice indeed to find yourself with 1, 2 and 3 next to your name. Moving on next, we go on to heat 5.
Let's meet the swimmers in heat number 5 then. Starting in lane 0 in the blue cap from City of Bristol, it's Zachary Derrick. From Borough of Kirklees in lane 1, Adam Law. From Modernian in 2, Jack Sangster. From Leatherhead in 3, Cameron Mackay. In lane 4 from Sutton Cheam, it's Kieran Rutter. In 5 from Mount Kelly, Jacob Newcomb. Daniel Charter goes in 6 from Bishop Stortford. And in 7, it's Moritz Hugers from Windsor. Representing Taunton Dean in 8, it's Mason Angove. Finally, registered in lane 9 was William Hodgson, but no swimmer over there starting this race. So Kieran Rutter in the orange cap, looking as though he'll lead at the halfway point here, but pretty close to him is Adam Law from Borough of Kirklees, but 1:05.22. Rutter turns first, closely followed by Law, 1:05.35. Moving through the times and the age groups then, everyone in heat 5, 16 years of age. So essentially, they'll be using this as a real yardstick to see who the main competitors in the final are going to be later today. Kieran Rutter currently leading, has an entry time of 2:15.00, just 0.05 quicker than Jacob Newcomb of Mount Kelly, although he's going a lot better than him in this heat at the moment. Rutter turns first into the final 50 metres in 1:39.11. Adam Law in lane 1's dropped down to 3rd. Moritz Hugers in 2nd. Cameron Mackay in lane 3 going well too. inside the final 20 metres then. Moritz Hugers finishing strongly. In fact, he's closing the gap on the leader, Kieran Rutter. But they're just taking the foot off the pedal here to cruise home and post their times in this heat. 2:13.38 for Rutter, a very good time. 2:14.30 for Hugers in second place, and Adam Law, Borough of Kirklees, 2:15.77 is enough for third, and a second behind, well, nearly a second behind Jack Stankster in lane 2 gets enough for fourth place. That was heat 5. Next we move on to heat 6. Just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, no flash photography, particularly during the start of races. This includes your mobile phones, and if you are videoing, please make sure the lights are off. I'm looking at the stand right now, and I've just seen your flash go off, you in the pink, madam. So if you could please ensure that your flashes are turned off, whether you're using a camera or your mobile phone for photo or video. Thank you. Well, we're still waiting for the official confirmation of the times from Heat 5, so keep your tweets coming in. Hashtag SE Swimming. Molly Allen has entered the photo competition. In fact, there have been a few entries. We'll have to pick our favourite, not just from this, but from all of the entries that we get throughout the day. If you'd like to be in with the chance of winning a Tier kit bag, Tier, of course, our fantastic kit sponsors, then all you have to do is send a picture in to hashtag SE Swimming. Now, we do have those results confirmed. Kieran Rutter first, Moritz Hugers second, Adam Law third. Time to move on to Heat 6. Back underway then with heat number 6 of 8 here in the men's 200-metre backstroke. The first event of an action-packed morning here at the Swim England National Summer Meet 2017. Let's meet the swimmers. In lane 0 from Northampton, it's Liam Snook. Going in 1 from City of Bradford, George Wild. From City of Manchester Aquatics in 2, Samuel Taylor. Samuel Crabtree goes in 3 from Thanet Swim. Lewis Gilchrist in 4 from City of Oxford with the fastest entry time. And in lane 5, Henry Hickson of Loftus Dolphins. From Hatfield, Elliot Wiley goes in lane 6. And from the Warriors of Warrington, it's Jacob Wass in lane 7. Thomas Lewis in 8 from Grantham. And Billy Pettit, the youngest swimmer in the field, goes in lane 9. Will be first at the halfway point then. It's George Wild from City of Bradford. 102.64 turns in first, but 102.83 just behind him. Lewis Gilchrist. Those two out in front at the moment by about a length from Henry Hickson in lane 5, right next to him. And starting to look stronger as the race goes on is Elliot Wiley in the pink cap in lane 6. Cruising towards the final 50 metres then. Lewis Gilchrist, City of Oxford in lane 4 will turn first in this heat number 6. Closely followed once again by George Wild, who goes well off the wall as well and closes the gap as soon as he pops his head back up in that silver cap. In third place now is Elliot Wiley. We pointed out that he was getting quicker as the race goes on. Into the final 25 metres for the leaders then. And way out in front now, swimming a superb 200 metres here, is Lewis Gilchrist, City of Oxford. He was the fastest going into the pool today, 2:10.22, and he's going to be well under that when he stops the clock. 2:07.81 for Lewis Gilchrist in first place. George Wild, City of Bradford, 2:10.76 as well. We're going to see plenty of personal bests in these heats. Elliot Wiley of Hatfield posts 2:11.35 in heat number 6. And there is the confirmation of the results. Gilchrist from Wild, from Wiley. And we move on to heat 7.
All lanes accounted for in this penultimate heat in 9-0. From Gloucester is Matthew Munden. In 1 from Pioneer 79, Aaron Bostock. In 2 from Derwentshire is Oliver O'Halloran. In 3 from City of Coventry is Daniel Moore. In 4 from Team Mercia is Lucas Williams. Hayden Griffiths of City of Manchester Aquatics goes in lane 5 alongside his teammate Matthew Evans, who's in 6. In 7 from Blackpool Aquatics is Anthony Wood. In lane 8 from Ireland is Jordan Byrne. And in 9 from City of Peterborough is Harry Whiteman. So we come towards the halfway point then, the middle of the pool in particular looking pretty disfigured at the moment. And it's because Lucas Williams of Team Mercia is quite a bit ahead of his fellow fastest qualifiers for this event. Daniel Moore in 3 and Hayden Griffiths in 5. Of course, as we always get to the back end of the heats, we see the older swimmers come into play. A few 17-year-olds in this pool. Oliver O'Halloran in 2, Anthony Wood in 7, Jordan Byrne in 8 and Harry Whiteman in 9. The rest in the senior category of 18 years and over. So a mixture of interests taking part in the pool here. Most of the pack reasonably close together at the moment. They're in unity, coming closer towards Lucas Williams in lane 4, who does still lead towards the front going in towards the final 50. But you can see emerging in lane 1 Aaron Bostock of Pioneer 79, who is going along very nicely indeed at the moment. And to his left is Oliver O'Halloran of Derwentshire, who's around half a length behind. With 25 metres to go though, anyone can still take this. While the pool ring out of the space though required in order to get the fastest time here, so it looks like it will be a straight shootout between Aaron Bostock in 1 and Oliver O'Halloran in lane 2. It will be the former to get there first on 2:11.04. Oliver O'Halloran in second place of Derwentshire on 2:11.76, and Lucas Williams of Team Mercia, who is towards the point of the pool, towards the whole way of that race, managing to get in third on 2:12.61. Confirmation of the results in ascending order on the screen now. Our final heat is up next, heat number 8. Final heat then of this men's 200 metre backstroke. A good start to the morning session here, and of course the women will follow afterwards with their heats of the 200 back as well. 9 of them in total. We'll focus now well and truly on this 8th heat with the men. In lane 0 from Northampton is Matthew Richmond. In 1 from Basildon and Phoenix, Tyler Berry. In 2 from Enfield, Samuel Pereira. Lane 3 from West Suffolk, Miles Turner. Max Jameson of Thanet Swim goes in 4. Sam Phippen in 5, representing Wickham District. In lane 6 from Amersham is James Irwin. In 7th from City of Cambridge, Ruben Decker. In 8, Mount Kelly and Thomas Brew. And in lane 9 from Cockermouth is Nathan Watson. And not usually the case this, but a vast majority of the pool in this final heat in the 17-year category. Just the one senior represented here, and that's Ruben Decker in lane 7 of City of Cambridge. 24 years of age to be precise. No, it's the man in lane 4, Max Jameson of Thanet Swim. 1 out in front, up alongside James Irwin in 6 of Amersham. Those 2 in the white caps, controlling things towards the front of the pool. Trying to worm his way in between them is the man in 5, Sam Phippen of Wickham District. He's just at the foot of that front trio, ahead of the rest of the pack as they turn now for the final 50. In 3rd as well, Tyler Berry in 1 of Basildon Phoenix, up alongside Max Jameson in 4. In fact, he might be slightly ahead of him here as you come into the final 30 metres. So it's going to be interesting between the rest of the pool. Of course, all but one of these swimmers in the same category. And they're all in the top 9 positions at the moment as well. Let's have a look at the front 2 then. Max Jameson in 4 will come on top against James Irwin in 6. What will the time be? 2:07.56 is the answer. 2:09.23 for James Irwin in 2nd. Tyler Berry coming out on top ahead of Miles Turner in the air by over a second. And the time of 2:11.66 with Miles Turner ending up in 4th position. So that concludes the heats for the men's 200 metre backstroke. As I say, the baton will be passed over very soon to the women. Confirmation up on the board now. Max Jameson in 1st, James Irwin 2nd, and Tyler Berry in 3rd.
The second event in the pool this morning is the Women's Open 200 metre backstroke, Heat 1. This, the first of 9 highly competitive heats then in the Women's Open 200 backstroke. Going in lane 2 from City of Leeds, Kadist Hodgson. In 3 from City of Oxford, Delphine Little. In 4 is Amelia Childs of Sevenoaks. In 5 from Hillingdon, Cara O'Toole. Going in lane 6 from Chesterfield, Amber Downham. And from Mount Kelly in 7, making up the first heat is Sophie Mann. All of these swimmers at the younger end of the age scale, of course, looking to qualify for their age group finals later. Amber Downham, at 12 years of age, is the youngest swimmer in the heat in lane 6. The rest of them, 13 and 14 years of age. As we approach the halfway point, end of the second length here, it's going to be Delphine Little who turns first. 1:10.53, very positive swimming from her.
She's got an entry time of 2:29.70. So at this pace, that could very much be a time that comes tumbling down. In lane 5, Cara O'Toole getting stronger as the race goes on, as we pass the halfway point in the third length. And in the middle there, Amelia Childs, the quickest, but only just going into the pool, 29.55 for her. In fact, all of these swimmers only separated by a second in their personal bests. Into the final 50 metres then, Delphine Little in lane 3 has led from the very beginning in the blue cap there in lane 3. And she turns first and she's cruising towards 25 metres to go, but there's been a bit of an injection of pace here from Cara O'Toole in lane 5. Now, has she left it a little bit late to take the lead? Remember, winning not everything in these heats. It's all about getting the time you need to get into the final. So Delphine Little in lane 3 currently leads from lane 5, Cara O'Toole. Lane 6, Amber Downham stops the clock third. 2:27.62 for Delphine Little. All 6 swimmers in then in heat number 1 as we await the confirmation of the official results. And there they are, Delphine Little first, Cara O'Toole second, Amber Downham third in heat number 1. Next, heat number 2. Let's meet the swimmers in heat number 2, going in 0 from City of Bradford. The only 12-year-old in the heat, Sophie Basaraba in 1. Next to her, it is Hannah Wright from Chester Le Street. In 2 from Southport, Kate Forster. Mimi Morley Issat from City of Oxford goes in lane 3. In 4, Sophie Freeman of Colchester. In 5, next to her in that yellow road lane is Amy West from Stockport Metro. Madeline Soper goes in lane 6 from Western Supermare. Lane 7's empty, so Amy Brown of Swim Bournemouth goes in 8. And in lane 9 from Guildford is Jasmine Findlay. Well, Hannah Wright from Chester Le Street going very well in lane 1 at the moment, as is Sophie Freeman of Colchester in lane 4. In fact, it's Freeman who turns first, 1:10.81. Some of the fastest swimmers in this heat are in the lower age category, Sophie Freeman being one of them. 2:28.88 is her personal best. Just her and Amy West have posted a time of under 2:29, although once again, as is often the case in these heats, because they're seeded by time, they're all very, very close on paper. As we approach the final 50 metres then, Sophie Freeman in the yellow cap in lane 4 turns first, and she extends her lead as well. It's been a very composed and confident swim from her, 1:48.14. Mimi Morley Issat in lane 3 next to her turns in 2nd place. And in lane 1 close to us, Hannah Wright currently in 3rd, but Amy West starting to get back on terms now, definitely for 3rd place, but might have left it a little bit late to catch 2nd. First though, and the fastest time in heat number 2 will be Sophie Freeman into her final 5 metres here. She will stop the clock first, and the time is 2:25.11. And 2nd and 3rd either side of her, Mimi Morley is at 2:27.31 for 2nd. Amy West of Stockport Metro 2:27.62. So all of those setting new personal bests, and there is the confirmation. All 9 times in heat number 2. Next, heat 3.
And away we go with heat number 3. Of course, a lot of the girls we may be seeing here in this event will be taking part in the 800-metre freestyle heats, which conclude this morning's session. So, of course, all 10 of these swimmers in the pool now, keen to qualify for tonight's finals. Also got to factor in, and we've got another big swim to come this morning as well. Take it to the pool then this time around. In lane 0 from Leicester Penguins is Grace Lovegrove. In lane 1 from Derwent side, Annabelle McCrory. In lane 2 from Nova Centurion, Emma Erskine. In 3 from City of Leicester, Chloe Baxter. Denise Gardo of Swindon Dolphins goes in 4. In 5 from Plymouth Leander, Oriana Noel. Betsy Wizard of Northampton goes in 6. In 7 from Romford Town, Amelia Mule. In 8 from City of Peterborough is Eve Wright. And in lane 9 from City of Leeds is Phoebe Dawson. Halfway point then is Amelia Mule in lane 7 of Romford Town, the one leading the way. Alongside her is Betsy Wizard in 6 as well of Northampton. Those two very close together indeed. And a bit of a buffer separating those two and the rest of the pool. In lane 4, peloton being led by Denise Gardo of Swindon Dolphins. Alongside her in 8, Eve Wright of City of Peterborough. Of course, the pack behind them trying to join the pursuit for around those front 3 or 4 spots as well. But at the front, leading the pack, Betsy Wizard pulling away from Amelia Mule now. She's managed to turn over that deficit and get in front of the Romford Town swimmer. So Betsy Wizard in lane 6, the one to beat here. In the 14-year category, Betsy Wizard. Quite a few interests in this, 12, 13 years, 14 years. And there's a 16-year swimmer in there as well in the form of Denise Gardo in lane 4. It's all about lane 6 and Northampton's Betsy Wizard, who is definitely much in control. Ahead of Amelia Mule in 7, and also in 2, Emma Erskine of Nova Centurion putting on a bit of a late pursuit as well. As they're coming towards the wall now, Betsy Wizard in there first on 2:25.81. In second place, Amelia Mule of Romford Town on 2:27.75. And the fastest trio that time around completed by Emma Erskine with a strong last 75 metres, the Nova Centurion swimmer touching in on 2:28.3. Confirmation of those times up on the scoreboard now. Clear distinction between that front 3 and the rest of the pool. We now move on to heat 4. Heat number 4 of 9 off and underway. 0 from Staines, Isabel Harry. In 1 from City of Sheffield, Abigail Miles. Nicola Capstick of Ulverston goes in 2. And 3 from City of Leeds, Ruby Palmer. Tasmin Maiba of Thanet Swim goes in 4. And 5 from Reading, Lara Richmond. Bella Hodges represents Mount Kelly in 6. 7 from York City, Molly Jo Garrett. Team Mercy's Kate Rainsford goes in 8 and in 9. Completing the pool from Northampton is Esther Grigor, who would love to follow the example set by her fellow Northampton swimmer Betsy Wizard in that last heat. Of course, easier said than done, especially when you are seated on the outside lanes. Not necessarily an accurate representation of how a race is going to go, the way these lanes are seated, but of course gives you an indication of what sort of times these swimmers are looking at this season. Coming towards the halfway point. In front at the moment is indeed the fastest seed in this heat, Tasmin Maiba of Thanet Swim. In the 14-year category, came into this event with a time of 2:27.37, albeit just 200ths of a second, of Ruby Palmer in 3, Laura Richmond in 5 and Bella Hodges in 6. All 3 of them swimmers on 2:27.39 with their entry time, and that is why you see such a tight cluster down the centre of the pool at this moment in time. Dueling themselves at the front in 3 and 4, Ruby Palmer and Tasmin Maiba both locking horns and joining in the argument as well in lane 6, Bella Hodges of Mount Kelly, who's trying to lead behind Lara Richmond of Reading, but seems to be just dragging her along with her at this moment. There's a front four all turned out for home. Up there in 1, Abigail Miles. Isabel Harry as well in lane 0 is having a super time of things, the Staines swimmer. Of course, you can't get too sucked into what's happening on in the middle of the pool, especially when you have an outside smoker potentially in the form of Isabel Harry here on the near side lane. So into the final 25 metres we go. A good, strong front 4 or 5 here, all challenging for the fastest time. Of course, a lot of these swimmers will have seen swimmers in their fellow age category come before them, set the benchmark. Can they overcome it? Bella Hodges will be first in towards the wall on 2:27.27. Tasmin Maiba does get second spot ahead of Isabel Harry ultimately, with the Staines swimmer in lane 0 getting 2:28.31. Second fastest time for Tasmin Maiba, 2:28.06. Confirmation of all 10 of those times on the scoreboard now. As I pass over to Dave and heat number 5.
Heat 5 of 9 and approaching the halfway point in this Women's Open 200 backstroke. Again, mix of age groups in this heat from 13 years of age up to 16. Swimming in lane 0 from Newcastle, it's Hannah Slater. In 1 from West Norfolk, Lara Grace Mount. Frances New of Dulwich Dolphins goes in lane 2. In lane 3 from Preston, Elizabeth Woodcock. Into the middle lanes then, in 4 from Yeovil, Jasmine Moore. And from Nova Centurion in 5, Ellis Molson. From Loftus Dolphins, Charlotte Thompson goes in lane 6. And in lane 7, from UEA Norwich, it's Megan Pye. Verda Vasilia Skyter from Ellesmere College Titans goes in lane 8. And on the far side, and going very well in lane 9, from Carnbray, it's Eleanor Fess. Oh, John, I spoke about outside smokers. And Lara Grace Mount here in lane 1, going particularly well here, of course, with these heats being ranked on entry times, but age group swimmers improving rapidly all the time. Sometimes the lane draws a little bit of a red herring, particularly in the heats, as Lara Grace Mount from West Norfolk in that blue costume and dark hat is showing us at the moment. But Jasmine Moore from Yeovil in lane 4 in the pink cap going well, as is Alice Molson from Nova Centurion, that green cap of Nova Centurion in lane 5, and they're getting stronger now and going into the final 50 metres. Certainly closed the gap on Lara Grace Mount, but haven't quite eclipsed her yet. And Grace Mount has got a great kick off the wall as well, just as 4 and 5 were starting to reel her in. She gives herself another metre at least as we go into the final 25 metres. As Lara Grace Mount from West Norfolk leading. In lane 6, Charlotte Thompson from Loftus Dolphins going well. She's currently in 2nd place. And in lane 9, Eleanor Fess of Carnbray has had a strong finish too. So the fastest qualifiers, Moore and Molson, in a little bit of trouble here in terms of posting their times. Eleanor Fess takes it in the end in lane 9. A brilliant last 50 from her. 2:27.43. Quick qualifying swimming once again. Lara Grace Mount in 2nd. But good times all round in heat number 5 as we await the official confirmation, with 4 heats still to go in the Women's Open 200-metre breaststroke. Elizabeth Woodcock there, 2:27.75 as well. Charlotte Thompson, provisionally 3rd from Loftus Dolphins, 2:27.92. Whilst we wait for those times, ladies and gents, remember, keep those tweets coming in, #SE Swimming. As especially with the prizes that we have to give away. Hashtag SE Swimming. Jono and I will visit some of those tweets shortly as well to see who we've been hearing from this morning. But we have this prize, we have to give it away, and you could be in with a chance of winning it, whether you're here in the venue or whether you are watching at home. Well, we're still waiting for the official results of heat number 5. So let's take a look at who we have been hearing from. Sarah McGee, hello to you. Everyone in Ponds Forge collectively yelled custard cream. No, that's not happening. Absolutely not. Swindon Dolphin ASC, great to hear from you this morning. They've drawn attention to the fact Denise Gardo swims a 2:30.17 in the 200 back, slightly off her PB, but great work at the end of a few long days. It has been long days as well. I think all these swimmers deserve huge credit, so make sure that you give them your congratulations when you see them. But we do now have those results confirmed. Eleanor Fess first, Lara Grace Mount second, and Elizabeth Woodcock from Preston in third. Let's move on to heat 6. A full complement of swimmers in heat number 6 then, starting with Sophie Hart in lane 0. Avani Gill from Wickham District in lane 1. In lane 2 goes Caitlin Ebbage of Tunbridge from Northampton in lane 3. It's Isabel Hume. In lane 4, Ayana Lawson of City of Milton Keynes next to her in 5. It's Emma Leslie from City of Peterborough. Team Bath's Misty Marshall-Welling goes in lane 6, and from Hailsham, Abigail Shorthouse races in 7. In lane 8, Megan Malloy from Enfield, and from Bracknell in lane 9. On the outside, it's Ellie Kirkham. The clock ticks just over a minute as we approach the halfway point here. And leading at halfway, it will be Abigail Shorthouse out there in lane 7 in 1:09.51. Interesting opening couple of lengths from her, going out pretty quickly. Starting to peg her back now are the swimmers in the middle lanes. Closest to it, Ayana Lawson, City of Milton Keynes in lane 4, but going well in 5 is Emma Leslie as well. And in between them, in lane 6, in between the leader and Emma Leslie, Ayana Lawson starting to get herself back on terms as well. So going into the final 50 metres of heat number 6, Abigail Shorthouse still there, 1:47.12 she leads. Ayana Lawson, City of Milton Keynes in 2nd, Emma Leslie 3rd. Caitlin Ebbage in lane 2 as well. She's well ahead of 1:0, but most of the action happening in the middle of the pool now. The move comes in from Ayana Lawson, and next to her, Emma Leslie. Looking like in these last 10 metres, should I say, they really could get close to Abigail Shorthouse, who's holding on at the moment, but will she get the first touch in heat number 6? Yes, she does. Shorthouse holds on to 24.55 for her. That is a personal best in the heat. Ayana Lawson takes 2nd. City of Milton Keynes. Emma Leslie, City of Peterborough, takes 3rd. Isabel Hume 4th, as we await the official results before moving on to heat number 7. 3 heats still to come here in the women's 200 backstroke before we move on to the men's 100. And there are the confirmed results then. Shorthouse from Hailsham, 2:24.55. From Lawson, City of Milton Keynes, Emma Leslie, City of Peterborough, picks up third. Time 4, Heat 7.
Lane 0 from City of Peterborough is Amelia Monaghan. 1 from Rugby is Holly Cochrane. In lane 2 from City of Hereford, Ellie Westerby. And 3 from Ellesmere College Titans, Nina Stridham. No lane 4 in this heat, but in 5 from Exeter City is Alia May Webb. Shannon Robinson of Wolverhampton goes in 6. In 7 from Boldmere is Lily Wood. And in 8 from City of Liverpool, Mattia J. Oliver with, of course, Skipton, Beatrice Waller in lane 9. Past the first quarter then, leading the way, Alia May Webb of Exeter City. In the usual bright green of the Grecians. Currently in second spot as well in lane 3 is Nina Stridham of Ellesmere College Titans. Most of the pool pretty bunched up, and a predominant dose of them are on the far side. The near side to the spectators, 7, 8 and 9. Lily Wood, Mattia J. Oliver and Beatrice Waller, all very even indeed in 4th, 5th and 6th as they turn at the halfway point. Strange one this for Alia May Webb of Exeter City. And she's well in front of Sharon Robertson in the lane next to her in lane 6, and of course she's got the lane to her left vacated as well. But of course in the backstroke, when you're just staring at the ceiling, you'll probably have no idea what's going off around you anyway. So Alia May Webb is focusing on her strokes, and it's enough for her at the moment to boast first position, as she will now turn with that lead for the final 50 metres. Second, a very close contest indeed between around 5 swimmers at the moment. In lanes 2 and 3, Ellie Westerby and Nina Stridham currently holding the rest of those positions in the top 3 and trying to worm her way into that argument as well. In lane 7 is Lily Wood of Boldmere. And here we look down the centre, Alia May Webb of Exeter City. The lead she has slightly evaporating, and that is due to the good inroads being made by Ellie Westerby of City of Hereford, who's really sprung it on in the last 100 or so. I don't think it'll be enough for her to get the quickest time in this heat, but as long as it's fast enough in retrospect to her other swimmers in her age category, that's all that matters. Alia May Webb first then on 2:22.4 in this heat, with Ellie Westerby just short of 2:24 on 2:23.99 in third spot. Lily Wood coming out on top ahead of Amelia Monaghan, who had a strong last 50 as well. Third position then for the Boldmere swimmer, 2:25.17. We await the confirmation of heat 7 up on the scoreboard very soon indeed. And there it is, Alia May Webb top, Ellie Westerby second, Lily Wood in third. Up next, penultimate heat, heat number 8. Full complement in the pool this time around in heat 8. In lane 0 from Hatfield is Grace Wiley. And 1 from Team Ipswich, Emily Dowding. And 2 from Guildford City, Tilly Hanson-Hamilton. Lane 3 from March, Danielle Rayner. Gemma Natalie on Tigers jersey is in 4. And 5 from Borough of Kirklees, Catherine Scott. Kitty Snaden of Millfield is up in 6. In lane 7 from Basildon and Phoenix is Ellie Wheeler. In 8 from Mid-Sussex, Sophie Maguire. And in lane 9 from Wigan Best is Charlotte Nesta. Very cagey affair indeed at the moment. No one really dropping off behind. No one with an unassailable lead out in the front. The one ahead in lane 4 is Gemma Atherley of Tigers jersey. And of course, these leads at this stage are very tender indeed and can very much easily be overturned. Catherine Scott lining up behind her in second, close between lanes 2 and 3 as well in terms of third position, with Tilly Hanson-Hamilton of Guildford City up alongside Danielle Rayner of March. And a tight quartet on the far side as well. Kitty Snaden in 6th, Ellie Wheeler 7th, Sophie Maguire 8th and Charlotte Nesta in 9th. It'll be interesting to see how that pans out over the course of the next 70 metres of this heat. And I said 50 metres ago that there wasn't really anyone with an unassailable lead. Well, certainly take that back now, because Gemma Atherley in lane 4, cruising here ahead of everybody else down the centre of the pool. We've seen a lot of heat so far in this event go to form, and the entry times. And Gemma Atherley with 2:20.78 is the quickest entry in this heat by over 1.5 seconds. So when she comes then to the final 15 metres, looking very comfortable indeed. I think she's going to beat that entry time as well. And she comes towards the wall then. Time of 2:18.43. Second spot and third and fourth, very close indeed. Second taken by Danielle Rayner of March on 2:23.82. With Catherine Scott of Borough of Kirklees completing the fastest 3 on 2:24.03. Just ahead in the end of Tilly Hanson-Hamilton by 0.44 seconds. Confirmation of those results as ever up on your screen now. Let's move on to our final heat, Heat 9. Very even start from all 10 of these swimmers in this fastest heat. Should be the fastest one yet, but of course we'll have to wait and see about that. Some good swims in the preceding 8 so far. And of course, a vast amount of age categories present in this pool, all knowing now what sort of time they have to get in order to be at one of tonight's finals. 5 age category finals tonight. In the women's categories, they are 12 to 13, 14 years, 15 years, 16 years and 17 years and over. So in lane 0 from Epping Forest is Amelia Peddle. In 1 from Mid-Sussex, Sophie Shaw. In 2 representing Southport is Josie Carroll. In lane 3 from Havington Waterlooville is Katie Byrne. Robin Edwards of Taunton Dean is in 4. Alongside her in 5 from Stockport Metro is Emma Rosen. In 6 from Borough of Waltham Forest, Jasmine Eiley. Abby Lowe of Chelmsford is in 7. In 8 from Wolverhampton, Jessica Banks. And in 9 from Maidstone is Lauren Braddon. Well, things were certainly even 100 metres ago. It's still even between the front 3 or so at the moment as well, particularly down the central 2 lanes with with Robin Edwards in 4 and Emma Rosen in 5. But look at this start being made by Abby Lowe in lane 7 of Chelmsford, going into this second 100, definitely with the wind in her sails, with the turn for the final 50 upcoming now. So, good stuff from Abby Lowe. Robin Edwards really close up alongside her as well in 4. Emma Rosen still knocking around those front 3 positions too in lane 5. Will anyone else from the rest of the pool be able to challenge them? The answer may be yes here. As you can just see, emerging in 6, Jasmine Eiley of Borough of Waltham Forest. So, the front 4 shaping up very nicely indeed as we go towards the back end of this final 50 metres. In particular, lanes 4 and 7 challenging towards the wall. Robin Edwards and Abby Lowe. A late sprint from Jasmine Eiley. Looks like she's in fine fettle indeed. And in fact, she gets herself in joint first alongside Abby Lowe of Chelmsford. Nothing separating those two in the end. 2:21.57, probably the only time in the whole heat. They were right next to each other, and it was when they met at the wall. Robin Edwards in third then on 2:22.04. She completes the fastest 3 that time around, but there were quite a few quick swimmers in that. Look at the top 5, all under 2:24, way ahead of the rest of the pool. Very close indeed between them. 5, even closer between the front 2. Abby Lowe, Jasmine Idling, 2:21.57, completing that 9th heat on exactly the same time.
The next event in the pool is the men's multi-classification 100-metre backstroke, Heat 1.
Take your mark.
The first multi-classification race of the day then. So instead of looking at times, we are going to be looking at points at the end of this one. 4 heats. The first, you'll see just 3 swimmers in the pool. So let's meet them in lane 3 in the white cap. From Mount Kelly, we have Alexander Hobbs in the middle there, currently leading. We have Levi Codling from Colville. And in lane 5, we have Jacob Chambers from City of Manchester Aquatics. MC, of course, being multi-classification. The classifications are next to the swimmers' names up on the scoreboard. So we have 2 S7 swimmers here, Alexander Hobbs and Levi Codling. And Jacob Chambers from City of Manchester, he is an S8. So essentially, lane 3 and lane 4 are racing against each other for times. But of course, as we enter the last 25 metres here, it is all about the points. Levi Codling going well then, leading by over a length in that blue cap in the middle lane. Lane 4 currently in 2nd place is Jacob Chambers in lane 5. And in lane 3, Alexander Hobbs currently in 3rd. So what are the points going to be in the opening heat of this men's mixed multi-classification 100 backstroke? 371 Levi Codling with the benchmark score. 318 for Hobbs, 238 for Chambers. That was the first heat of the men's multi-classification 100 backstroke. Confirmed results there then. Codling 371 points, Hobbs 318 takes 2nd. Jacob Chalmers 238 points takes 3rd in heat 1. Next up, heat 2. So unlike the previous heats where they've started over the top, we're going to clear the pool before we do these multi-classification backstroke heats. Plenty of swimming still to come. Let us know how you're enjoying it. We certainly are here. You can do that via Twitter using the hashtag SESwimming. We've had some great tweets so far and throughout the week, and we're looking forward to hearing more from you throughout these heat sessions and, of course, the finals this evening. On we move to heat 2.
Take your marks.
Heat number 2 in lane 0, we have Connor Freeman of Leicester Penguins. In 1, Peter Harper of Marlborough. In 2, Ben Webster of Adwick. In lane 3 goes Connor Lockwood of Woking. City of Salford swimmers are in 4 and 5. We have Craig McNeil in 4, Jack Sheffield in 5, Joshua Fairchild, City of Coventry, goes in 6, George Eldridge of Brompton goes in 7, and James Brown of Bilston goes in lane 8. Turning first, Connor Lockwood, S14 swimmer from Woking. And going well next to him is Craig McNeil from City of Salford in lane 4 in that yellow cap. In fact, with about 20 metres to go, Craig McNeil has caught him and overtaken him. And it's looking like he will get the touch first. But remember, not about the time, it is about the points in Heat 2 of 4 in this men's multi-classification 100-metre backstroke. So what will the first points in be? Craig McNeil, 470. Connor Lockwood straight in there with 485. That 485 still leading, with Connor Freeman from Leicester Penguins coming in lane 0 now, completing the race and completing heat number 2. What will his points tally be? 235. So Connor Lockwood there, accumulating the most points in heat number 2. That is now confirmed on the board, 485. Craig McNeil, City of Salford, 470. And his teammate Jack Sheffield, 447, takes 3rd place in heat number 2. So let's take a look at Twitter then. Deepings Swim Club, they've been tweeting us throughout the week. A big hello to Deepings, both in terms of those who've been watching the swimming and those who are here taking part as well. Deepings say good luck to Chloe Jones in the 800 free today. That 800 free, of course, taking place a little bit later in the session. Team Thanet, Cirencester and Swindon Dolphins, as well as London Disability Swimming Club, have all been tweeting in today. Hello to you all. London Disability SC would like to say good luck to Leah, swimming in the 50 fly this morning. Kick hard. But now it's time to hand you over to Jono for Heat 3.
Thank you very much, David. Here we go then with the penultimate heat of the men's multi-class 100 backstroke. Taking the pool here in 0 from City of Manchester Aquatics is Liam Hardy. No lane 1 in this heat, but in 2 from Isle of Man is Benjamin Granger. In 3 from Newquay, Kieran Williams. In 4 from Hastings, Callum Pearson. Sol Bressett of Tigers Jersey goes in 5. In 6 from Cockermouth is Evan Holt. Ryan Potter of Blackpool Aquatics is in 7. In 8 from Carridon is Matthew Close, and in 9 from Rotherham Metro is William Whitehead. So once again, a variety of classifications taking part here. In 5, 6 and 7 are our S14 swimmers. And also in that category, Liam Hardy in 0. We have 3 S10 swimmers in the form of Benjamin Granger in 2, Kieran Williams in 3, and Callum Pearson in 4. A double dose of S8 athletes as well. Matthew Close in 8 and William Whitehead in 9. So Callum Pearson will come out on top out of the S10 swimmers on 543 points. How will it look in the general scheme of things? Sol Bressett, who has very much got familiar with a gold medal or two over the course of the week, has to settle for 504 points in this event. And 423 coming in for Evan Holt as well. No one looking as if they're going to beat that at the moment. 382 for Matthew Close, which would signify that the remaining swimmers will not beat those scores, because of course the swimmers in the S8 categories or in the S10 categories or whatever categories that they are both in the same of, they are looking for the same respective world record in that category to get as close as possible to 1,000 points is usually close to the world record. 543 as close as we get in this heat, with Callum Pearson on top, Sol Bressett second, Evan Holt in 3rd. So still one more heat to come in this event. Don't forget the women will be coming up afterwards as well with their multi-class 100 backstroke. Just be the 2 heats involved in that. Steve says good luck to Jenny Hunter with her last swim of the tournament coming up today. And also Alison saying go Flipper go. Going to Bracknell. Swimmers there off the court. Alex Mason saying Aussie the Labradoodle cheering on Chestnut Street swimmers Hannah and Thomas today. A fantastic photograph and great to see as well a live stream being pumped out on the big TV as well. Thanks for that, Alex. Let's move on now to our next heat then. It's heat 4.
Take your mark.
And away we go then with this final heat. Of course, the swimmers will be getting into tonight's final based on their points, but in terms of the seeds for the finals and which lanes they line up in, and of course for these heats as well, it's all about their times, which really does emphasise the point that those on the outside lanes touching in is when we finally know who has got the most points in this event. It's really not a case of waiting for your central 3 lanes to touch in. 9 of them in this case have to get to the wall before we know exactly who's come out on top with those multi-class points. 25 metres to go. The man in front there, Harry Wellington of Salisbury, he's in the S13 category. He's the only one in that category as well, so he's swimming more or less against himself and the clock as he comes in towards the back end of this heat. So we'll get the fastest time, 109.43, 544 points is very good going as well. Louis Hines comes in next, 40 points below him on 504. In between the two of them, Joshua Monaghan-Coombs on 522. And then the flurry of swimmers beginning to touch the wall now. No one challenging the 500 mark at this moment in time. And best of the rest at the moment, 435 from Oladaisi Adefeson in lane 7. Coming in now is Samuel Wirtzy in lane 9. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it one more time for the swimmers in those heats. Then that concludes the men's multi-class 100 metre backstroke. And we'll wait for the confirmation of the top 3 point scores. Harry Wellington provisionally on top on 544, then 522 for Joshua Monaghan-Coombs. Louis Hines in third on 504.
Just waiting for the final confirmation of the times in the final heat of the men's multi-classification 100 backstroke. We'll be moving on to the women's 100 backstroke multi-classification very, very shortly, but tweets still coming in thick and fast. City of Peterborough have been in celebrating the fact that Harry Whiteman has got into the 17 years 200 backstroke final with a PB. Another PB today. An unbelievable amount of the swimmers here have performed lifetime bests at the Swim England National Summer Meets. Hopefully you'll be back to watch those finals later on today. If not here in Ponds Forge, then watching at home on the live stream. We've brought you every session, and that will continue this evening. We've been talking about the social media competition as well. We'll be giving away the prizes later today, so still time to get your entry in. If you're here in Ponds Forge, send us your best selfie. If you're at home, send us a picture of who you're watching with, and maybe even make your way out into the reception area here. We've got a Swim England setup with some big buckets and spades, the opportunity to take some really funny pictures. Send us in something that'll catch our eye, and you could be leaving with a Tia bag donated by our kit sponsors. There are the official results then from Heat 4 of the men's multi-classification 100 backstroke. Wellington takes first, Monaghan Coombs second, Louis Hines third. Now we move on to the women's multi-classification 100 metre backstroke, Heat 1.
Take your mark.
Just the two heats in the women's multi-classification 100 backstroke. Then let's meet the swimmers in Heat 1. In lane 0 from Northampton, Scarlett Humphrey. From Camden Swiss Cottage in lane 1, Leah O'Connell. Going from Elmbridge in lane 2, it's Madeline Harris. Maya Briscoe of Staines goes in 3. Megan Neve, City of Derby, goes in lane 4. From Gloucester in 5, it's Harriet Dixon. In lane 6, Rebecca Franks from Newark. Leicester Penguins, Isabel Dean goes in 7. And Genevieve Hunter of Beachfield goes in lane 8. Well, the multi-classification and a real mix of classifications here from S7 all the way up to S14. So we really will have to watch the numbers, the scores, not the lead times here. But lane 4, certainly the first to touch back will be Megan Neve, City of Derby, the S14 swimmer. Just 14 years of age, the third youngest in the heat. The youngest, the 12-year-old Scarlett Humphrey in lane 0. Now let's take a look at the time here. Of course, we go on scores, but personal best still count. And Megan Neve with a big PB there for 542 points. Harriet Dickinson touching back with 507 points there as well. Still lots of racing to come though. In lane 0, Scarlett Humphrey looking like she will get her score in next. In lane 2, just finishing there is Madeline Smith of Elmbridge, 304 points for her. Then over on the far side in lane 8, Genevieve Hunter, the final few strokes now. She touches back in lane 8, 263 points. That is Heat 1 complete in the women's multi-classification 100 backstroke. Provisionally, Megan Neve there with a big score, 542 points. Enough for first place. Harriet Dickinson, 507, the S10 from Gloucester. 443, Maya Briscoe, 416, Leah O'Connell there, of course, while the swimmers clear the pool. We're just awaiting the confirmation of those results. One heat still to come. Of course, some very important checks that all of the judges, the guys down there doing such a great job in the black tops and the white trousers, have to go through. There's so much at stake here, swimming at this level. Everything has to be perfect. So we wait until all of those checks are done before we can confirm the results. Provisionally, though, and we just saw an adjustment on the scoreboard there, provisionally, and now confirmed, Megan Neve, 542, enough for first place. Harriet Dickinson, second, 507. Maya Briscoe, third, 443. We move on to Heat 2.
And away we go then in the pool here. Lane 0 from Camden Swiss Cottage is Charlotte Hyde. In 1 from Doncaster Darts, Holly Pinder. In 2 from Mount Kelly, Olivia May Cameron. In 3 from Cockermouth is Drew Stables. Lane 4 from Wickham District is Katie Crowhurst. In 5 from Warrington Warriors, Coral Farrell. 6 from City of Manchester Aquatics is Tilly Kearney. In 7 from Cockermouth, Ella Cooper Holmes. In 8 from Littlehampton, Georgia Howell. And in 9 from Mount Kelly is Katie Moss. So a lot of duels going on in the S6 category, the S7 category, and the S10 category as well, with S9 and S13 both having a single representative too. Looking down the centre then here, Katie Crowhurst and Coral Farrell in 4 and 5, both in different classifications. Therefore, not going to be necessarily the first one to touch it, that will get the higher out of the two. Also one to watch will be Tilly Kearney in lane 6, who put on a mesmerising performance the other day in the previous event this week on around 600 points she got, which was absolutely phenomenal. But here we have Katie Crowhurst coming in first on 529. Coral Farrell on 516 with Drew Stables momentarily third, but there she goes again, Tilly Kearney on 685. Incredible stuff. What a week she's having here in Ponds Forge. 581 for Ella Cooper Holmes puts her now into second spot ahead of Katie Crowhurst. Of course, we've got the two S6 swimmers coming in as well. No idea what points they're going to get until they come in. 393 for Georgia Howell. And Katie Moss will get less than that as she approaches the ball now, but a good swim from her nonetheless. Good round of applause breaking out here in Ponds Forge for that score of 298 for all our swimmers as well in those two heats. But look at that, Tilly Kearney, 685. If you've been here previously this week and you've seen Tilly Kearney swim, we've seen a few 600 points being smashed from several of our para swimmers here in Ponds Forge, but 600 was the boundary you had to get over in order to be at the trials for the World Championships coming up in Mexico at the end of September. Of course, not necessarily Tilly Kearney would have got there, of course, but to get over 600 points is very good going indeed, and she may be a name to watch in the future in para swimming. 685 for City of Manchester Aquatic swimmer.
It is now time to welcome the swimmers in the Men's Open 50 metres butterfly. Heat 1. Some fast and frantic sprinting coming up then. Michael Klimaszewski goes in 0. Archie Minto in 1. Ellis Cleworth 2. Nathaniel Morey 3. Matthew Crawford 4. Cameron Williams 5. Oliver Hall 6. Thomas Johnson 7. And James Hart 8 here in this 50 metres butterfly. Heat 1 going well in lane 5 is Cameron Williams, but striking back in 4 is Matthew Crawford. It's going to be close here between those two swimmers in the white caps in the middle lanes. And on in this near side there, James Hart of Reading gets first place from the outside, 27.88. Matthew Crawford from Dorking in lane 4 gets second. Thomas Johnson Retford gets third. A tight opening heat. On to heat 2. Andrew Hall goes in lane 0. In lane 1, Jamie Hans. Sean Sy in 2. Stanislas Chausen in 3. Andre Stridham 4. Thomas English 5. Jay Cushion 6. Kieran Riches 7. Josh Holland 8. Henry Rideout goes in 9 again. So close here Going well in lane 4 though, Andre Stridman on the near side in lane 1. Jamie Hans putting in a good swim here as well. Approaching the end of heat 2. And Andre Stridman goes under 27.5 seconds to take first place. Stanislas Chausen provisionally second. And third place goes to Jamie Hans out there in lane 1. That was heat number 2. And now we're ready for heat 3. Heat 3 of 6 in lane 0, Nicholas Lupi. In lane 1, Thomas Dugdale. In 2, Renat Summer. In 3, Mason Honeysett. In 4, Alfie Mars. Simon Sweatman in 5, Alex Bryant in 6, Robert Brittle 7, Louis Edwards Pratt in 8, and Kaio Tanner goes in 9 as we approach the final 10 meters here. The man in the middle, lane 4, Alfie Mars going well, as is lane 0, Nicholas Lupi. And it is Mars who gets first place. So close there between first and 10th place, as we expect in this 50 metres. But Mars first, Brittle second, Edwards Pratt in third. On to heat 4 of 6. In lane 0, Joseph Day. In 1, Matthew Pomford. In 2, Sydney Fennick. Benjamin Martin in 3, Jacob Lee in 4, 5 is Robert Cowley, 6, Joshua Monroe, 7, Felix Haslam, 8, James Cuthbert, and Manfred Battle goes in lane 9. But streaking out in front is Jacob Lee in lane 4. This is about as powerful a swim as we've seen so far, but coming on strong towards the end, Robert Cowley in 5, 25.81 for Jacob Lee of Southport. To his right-hand side, Robert Cowley gets second. To his left, Benjamin Martin takes third in heat 4. Next up, heat 5. In lane 0, Alex Watkinson. In 1, Luke Kearslake. 2, Thomas Bohr. 3, James Baxter. 4, Josh Bradley. 5, Jamie Ingram. 6, Adam Reed. 7, Robin Boyden. 8, Thomas Stansfield. And 9, Benjamin Samuel. Again, the action in the middle lanes here. Jamie Ingram and Josh Bradley going well in lane 4 and 5. But in lane 3, James Baxter putting on a good show in the green cap. The first touch goes to Josh Bradley. Again, a great time just outside 25.5. Baxter in lane 3 getting second place. Jamie Ingram getting third in heat number 5. This, the final heat, heat 6. In lane 0 from Bournemouth Collegiate, Christian Tai. In 1, Keenan Young. 2, Kai Adams. 3, Bartek Karpish. 4, Connor Munn. 5, James Oxborough. 6, David Shipman. 7, Nathan Lowe. 8, Owen O'Connor. 9, Thomas Kerr. And again, the action in the middle of the pool here. 3 and 5 going particularly well. That's Karpish and Oxbow. Connor Munn just getting left behind a little bit in lane 4. The first touch goes to Bartek Karpish from Bristol. 25.67 takes first place. James Oxborough of Loughborough University in second. and also of Loughborough University. Conor Munn picks up third, and that completes all 6 heats in the men's open 50-metre butterfly. Next up, it's the women's 50 butterfly.
Here we go then with the women's 50-metre butterfly. This is heat 1. Eight heats involved in this event then. In lane 1, Olivia Cattery. 2, Jasmine Sheffield. 3, Zia Levy. And 4 is Emily Chapman. Taryn Van Selm goes in 5. And 6 is Emma Haynes. 7, Piper Redley Parish. And lane 8 is Hermione Rowe. So of course, as we saw in the men's event, more or less the pool taking up a straight line as they go towards the wall, and it just shows that anyone can win it as well. Olivia Cattery in the outside lane of lane 1 getting there on 30.1. Second place, Emma Haynes is 0.4 of a second behind her. In the front 3, that time around completed by Emily Chapman of Dinnerton. Confirmation up on the scoreboard now. We can swiftly move on to heat 2. For Paul this time around then. In 0, Isabel Benster. 1, Anna O'Brien. Nadja Sterling goes in 2. In 3, Annabelle Smith. 4, Rebecca Amer. In 5, Clara Van Opel. Abigail Stemp goes in 6. In 7, Julia Murphy. Meadow Dromsfield's in 8. And in 9 is Charlotte Berry. Just peeking in front in lane 6 is Abigail Stemp of Woking. Paul looking a bit lopsided the further you look to lane 0, and that is because those lanes in the centre are on top. Rebecca Amer overall getting there on 30.05 seconds, 600ths of a second quicker than that of Abigail Stemp, who did seem to be in the ascendancy for a wee moment going towards the wall. Clara Van Opel gets in 3rd on 30.2. Let's move on now to heat 3. In 0 is Charlotte Moores. 1, Megan Annis. In 2, Sky McLaughlin. In 3, Oriana Knoll. In lane 4 is Leah Whittaker. Zoe Naylor Perrett. And in 5, in 6 is Caitlin Bradford. In lane 7 is Eleanor Dewhurst, who's leading the way at the moment. In 8, Sasha Thomas. And in 9, Rhiannon Evans. So here we come towards the wall. Still lane 7, the one to watch out for. Fastest reaction times and fastest time as well across the 50 metres. Eleanor Dewhurst of Anaconda on 29.29. In second spot is Sky McLaughlin of Taunton Dean on 29.5. And a 10th of a second behind her is Megan Annis of Worcester in 3rd. Let's throw it back down now to heat 4. Almost at the halfway point in these heats then. Lane 0, Katie Hurst in 1, Olivia Norman, 2, Amy West, Mia Burns goes in 3, in 4, Martine Tran, in 5, Sassy Palfreman, in 6, Harriet Rogers, in 7, Celeste Andrew, in 8, Emily Peck, and Jade Blake completes the pool in lane 9. And look how disfigured the pool is here. Usually you have that straight line I was talking about at the start, but it's lanes 8 and 9, absolutely roaring through this heat. Emily Peck in 8 and Jade Blake in 9. Absolutely super stuff from those two on the far side, pushing each other all the way there. 29.45 the winning time for Emily Peck. 10th of a second ahead of Jade Blake. It's Sassy Palfreman in lane 5 down the centre, who manages to get there ahead of Martina Tran in 3rd position. Up next, heat 5. In lane 0 is Abigail Poulton, 1, Mia Greenout, in 2, Laura Lacrasse, 3, Lydia Smith. Scarlett Peacock is in 4, in 5, Holly Steer, in 6 is Jasmine Moore, 7, Charlene Labos, in 8, Evie Thompson, and in 9, Emily Wareham. This a lot closer to call, that is for sure. Just slightly getting the nose in front of the start there was lane 9 and Emily Wareham. That is not the case though, going towards the wall. Very close indeed. First touch, we'll have to wait and see for confirmation. It's Mia Greenow in lane 1 of Wigan Best on 29.98. Second, you have to look to lane 9 and Emily Wareham of Dawlish on 30.05. Evie Thompson of Team Mercia manages to get 3rd on 30.13. Of course, not all about where you finish in the top 3 or outside the top 3, all about the times. But those in the top 3 will be feeling very good about themselves after that swim. Up next then, it's heat 6. Lane 0 is Honey Owen, 1, Kelsey Geary, 2, Holly White, 3, Lily Parsons, in 4, Amrita Robertson, 5, Georgina Talon, Rhiannon Bowen goes in 6, in 7 is Tiana Porter, in 8, Eve Lumen, and in 9, Alicia Kelly. Well, Amrita Robertson in lane 4, clear to see she's going to take this one, wasting no time at all, charging towards the wall there, so why should it make a hole in it as she came in? 28.38, good speed from her. Rhiannon Bowen in 2nd on 29.17. And in 3rd spot. Have to wait for confirmation of 3rd position. Georgina Talon of Potter's Bar, 29.35. Wedge between the front 2 in lane 5. We'll have to wait for confirmation, of course, of those results. And there they are now. Amrita Robertson, Rhiannon Bowen, Georgina Talon, your top 3. So we move on to penultimate heat, number 7. In lane 0 is Oriana Munden, 1, Molly Quelch, 2, Hannah Trousdale, 3, Kasha Whitaker, 4, Charlotte Taylor, 5, Martha Julie, no lane 6 in this heat, and in 7 is Abigail Walmsley, Gemma Elliott goes in 8, and Jocelyn Cosmatos goes in 9. Lane 5 getting herself in front at the moment, Martha Julie of Colchester in the yellow cap, alongside her in 4, Charlotte Taylor of Satellite. Will there be an outsider as well getting in there? The answer will be no. Charlotte Taylor in 1st, and Martha Julie in 2nd. Lead the way. Jocelyn Cosmatos of Leatherhead sneaks around the outside in lane 9 and gets into 3rd position there, ahead of Hannah Trousdale by 11 hundredths of a second. Confirmation of heat 7 as ever on the scoreboard for you now. Up next, heat 8. 9 swimmers taking part then in this final heat. In lane 0 is Elizabeth Woodcock, 1 Isabel Holden, Sophie Maguire is in 2, in 3 Shannon Stott, 4 Rachel Bowen, in 5 Kate Mills, Charlotte Hall goes in 6, in 7 Ellie Tennant, and in 8 is Sophie Shaw. And once again, lane 4, the place to be. Rachel Bowen of Mid-Sussex, 27 years of age, showing all that experience and speed as well here as she comes towards the wall with a time of 27.89, up on the entry time as well. Shannon Stott of Hatfield gets second on 29.04, and boasting third is Kate Mills of City of Oxford with her time of 29.15. Final lot of swimmers there shown on the screen for that women's 50 metre butterfly, and the times all in ascending order. We'll soon be back to the multi-class events for the men's and the women's 50 metre butterfly heats flying by. Of course, a couple of multi-class swims to come. We'll have the men's multi-class 50 butterfly first. The women will be up afterwards, but I'll pass over to Dave now for the first heat of the men's multi-class 50 metre butterfly.
The only man in the pool then is William Perry in lane 4. Come on, Pons Forge, let's get behind him. It's a big old pool to be racing in on your own, and even though he's the only man in the race, he needs the British record to medal here. So let's get behind William Perry, the 17-year-old S6 swimmer from Northampton. He's got a personal best of 41.43 and needs the swim of his life to break the British record here. But let's see if he can get inside that personal best. He's got 9 seconds to do the final 10 metres. Come on, Pons Forge. Let's get behind William Perry in the men's MC 50 metre butterfly. He stops the clock in 42.04, 359 points. Pons Forge give it up for William Perry in the men's multi-classification 50 metre butterfly. Men's next, it's the women's multi-classification 50 butterfly.
Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen, the women's multi-class 50 metre butterfly heats. This is heat 1 of 1. So a very interesting heat on our hands here. A single heat in the women's multi-class 50 metre butterfly. Basically, the top 3 in this will get a medal. Unfortunately, one person will miss out. But of course, it is all about the points rather than the times. Already coming into the final 25 metres, we see Leah O'Connell in lane 4 of Camden Swiss. Around her, lane 3, Mount Kelly's Katie Moss. In 5, Littlehampton's Georgia Howell. And in 6 is Kimberley's Sophie Woodward. So the only 2 swimmers that are in the same category here, Kate Moss in 3 and Georgia Howell in 5. They are both in the S6 category, but at the front, Leah O'Connell is first to touch in. That's no surprise. She's in the highest category of S7, 519 points. Big question is, will Georgia Howell beat it? The answer is no, 344, which means Katie Moss as well will get around that sort of score as she comes into the wall now, 239. So Sophie Woodward in lane 6. The S3 swimmer by far and away the lowest classification we have seen all morning in these multi-class events. The big question is, ladies and gentlemen, will she able to get on the podium? 239 is the benchmark to get bronze, 519 for gold. She comes into the wall now. It's around about the PB, and 356 is enough for a silver medal for Sophie Woodward of Kimberley. Fantastic stuff from all 4 of those swimmers, really in the air and pushing each other all the way, having to earn those 3 medals. Agonising stuff for Katie Moss, who just misses out with 239. And she's around the PB area as well. Let's have a look at the top 3 there. Leah O'Connell top, Sophie Woodward second, Georgia Howell in third.
Still lots of tweets coming in then. We've heard from City of Oxford Swim Club. Always great to hear from them. They say great swims by Tiana and Kate in the 55, both into the finals tonight. Once again, a reminder, pick up your tickets for the finals tonight. We'd love a full house here at Ponds Forge. In fact, if you're watching at home, why not get in the car, get down the M1 and get yourselves here, because it promises to be a brilliant evening at the National Summer Meet. The final session will begin at 3 o'clock, so you've probably just got enough time to get dressed, get out of your dressing gown on a Sunday and get yourself down here. Worcester swim team have also said great heats from the ladies, sees them both qualify in their age group in 3rd place in the 50 fly. Well done, Meg and Charlotte. Yes, well done, Meg and Charlotte indeed, and we wish you luck going into this evening. Of course, we still have one event remaining today. It's been a fascinating morning of heats, but the Women's Open 800 freestyle is still to come. Proper endurance racing. So stick with us for that. We have some fascinating age group races still to come. Squiggle Nesbitt. What a name Squiggle Nesbitt is. Tweet at Tully Kearney does it again, winning the heats and through to the finals. We heard from Bassett Law Swim Squad as well. Tom J successfully navigates the heats to climb from 17th to 8th and into this afternoon's finals. Lots of people tweeting the live stream as well. We've had great viewer figures, and we're absolutely delighted that people have joined us, whether it's been here inside Ponds Forge, this legendary swim arena in the Steel City, or from the comfort of your own home. We've really enjoyed the pictures of your living rooms, actually. They all look very comfortable, and in fact, I'm sure the dogs who've been watching the swimming have been having a great time too. So keep your tweets coming in, whether you're here in the venue, whether you are at home, whether you're a swim club, or whether you're just enjoying watching, using the hashtag #SESwimming. And of course, keep your pictures coming in, because later on we'll be giving away that Tia kit bag donated by our brilliant kit sponsors, Kia is what I drove here in this morning. Tia, our kit sponsors, will be giving away that bag a little bit later on today. So keep your pictures coming in using the hashtag #SESwimming. Still to come, and coming up very shortly, will be the women's 800 metre freestyle heats.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal ceremony for the women's multi-classification 50-metre butterfly. The medals will be presented by Swim England President Anne Ray. The winner of the bronze medal, representing Littlehampton, Georgia Howell. The winner of the silver medal, representing Kimberley, Sophie Woodward. The winner of the gold medal, representing Camden Switch Cottage, Leah O'Connell. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it one more time for your medal winners.
The final event in the pool this morning is the Women's Open 800-metre freestyle. This is Heat 1.
Take your mark.
Just 3 in the pool for the first heat of the Women's Open 800-metre freestyle. 7 heats in total. Proper endurance racing, the 800. It's tough going out there, ladies and gents, so I hope you're going to be behind these swimmers all the way, not just in this heat, but in the 7 that complete this session. So let's meet the swimmers as they approach the first 50-metre turn. You see the officials there holding up the boards, signifying the number of lengths they've got left. In lane 3 from Winsford, we have Charlotte Howman. In lane 4, which is bang in the middle, from City of Leeds, it's Isabel Goodwin. Big cheer for her. And from Greenwich Royals in lane 5, it is Emily Watts. These 3, all 13 years of age, all clocking personal bests within a second of each other, and opening the first 100 metres of this 8, pretty much neck and neck as well. So in lane 5, Emily Watts in that silver cap, that yellow of City of Leeds, bang in the middle is Isabel Goodwin. And in lane 3, Charlotte Howman in the white cap. The 7 heats theoretically getting progressively quicker. We've got some open age swimmers. In fact, the oldest in the field is 20, so definitely the youngsters taking part in the 800 metres here. I'll tell you what, they're a lot braver than me because it is tough to maintain that pace here. But at the moment, these 3 swimmers finding their rhythm and just sneaking out into the lead. For what it's worth at this point, as we reach the halfway point of the 4th leg, is Isabel Goodwin, City of Leeds. Her personal best, 9:43.29. So if anyone's watching at home, the next time you jump in the pool, swim yourself 800 metres or 16 lengths of a 50-metre pool. Start the clock and see how close you get to that. At the 200-metre point then, let's look at the splits. Isabel Goodwin, City of Leeds, in first place. Emily Watt in second, 222.23 and 223.05. Charlotte Howman in third, but all very, very evenly poised here as we approach the halfway point with 12 laps to go.
Of course, we saw the men earlier on this week as well with their 1500-metre freestyle. It was a bit different for them. It was on their second day and they'd not really had a full week of swimming to contend with before they went out and had to do this arduous battle in the pool. And these swimmers across the 7 heats that we're about to see, including this first one as well, will have had a long week here at Ponds Forge, and this will have been in the back of their minds all the way through their time here in the Steel City. And of course, it's just the one swim for each of these swimmers in this event. They will not be back for a final tonight or anything like that. They just have to do 800 metres once, or 9 minutes worth, or 10 minutes worth of swimming, and see where it puts them at the end of the standings in their respective age category. These 3 swimmers, of course, in the youngest category of 12 to 13-year-old, so directly competing against each other. And going along very smoothly at the moment. No one really overdoing things at this moment in time. No one overly kicking or snatching at the water with their arms. Of course, a long way to go. And consolidating yourself in a position is just as important as putting yourself in front of the rest of the pool as well. Got to make sure you're comfortable, you cement yourself in the race, and then you're able, in the final quarter or so, the final 200 metres, to really push on and kick on for home and win the heat. Of course, it's not just about winning the heat here, it's about winning it by as much as you can as well, because these swimmers have the disadvantage of having no idea at all what sort of times will be coming up later on in the heats. Of course, they can look on paper, but things very much do change, especially such a long distance, and with the younger age categories as well. PBs do tumble a lot with the 12, 13-year-olds, especially the longer the distance is. So down the centre, very clear to see Isabel Goodwin of City of Leeds. Way ahead at the moment of Emily Watts in lane 5, who is second. Who is just short of midway between Isabel Goodwin in front and Charlotte Howman in lane 3 at the back. So nothing has really begun to materialise during the last 50 to 100 metres of this race. The distances between the 3 of them, more or less, as you were.
Isabel Goodwin then bang in the middle in that yellow cap. Looking comfortable out there, dare I say it, despite the fact that it's such a difficult swim. She's got 6 laps to go. Second place at the turn. Emily Watts, Charlotte Howman there in third, 6:11.94. 3 and a bit minutes of this race left at this pace. 9:43.29, Isabel Goodwin, the 13-year-old. All 3 swimmers 13 years of age, of course, but Isabel Goodwin's the quickest personal best. Jono spoke earlier about each of these swimmers having to sort of go out and post their best time, because this is the first heat and they've got no idea where their time will rank, considering they are setting the benchmarks. However, it has been a quick pool in pretty much all of the events throughout the week, and with these being age group swimmers, they're getting faster all the time. raising their own personal standards and dragging everybody else along with them. So we're expecting some good times in this 800-metre freestyle. If you're currently tweeting us using the hashtag SESwimming, I've got a competition and you're not allowed to use Google. Of course, we've seen some of the best in the national game here, but the world record for this competition, the women's 800 metres, is actually quite remarkable. So I want you to all have a guess at what that world record is and send in your tweets to SESwimming. There's not a prize for this, it's just fun. Jono, put your phone down. You're not allowed to Google it, mate. I just want your guess. I'm not going to pretend I'm an oracle. I had to look it up myself. I'll give you a clue. It's held by Katie Ledecky. And it is quicker than 9:43.29, which is Isabel Goodwin's personal best in this event. The clock just ticking over 8 minutes and 4 seconds now. And Isabel Goodwin swimming really well here. She's got a comfortable lead. But as she gets the bell, which signifies the last 100, then she's kicked on and up the pace. Fantastic energy levels. That bell will be rung in each lane. Just to remind the swimmers of where they're at. The same happens, of course, in athletics. In all of the distance races, there's a bell on the start-finish line that's rung when they have 400 metres to go. But Isabel Goodwin getting quicker and quicker here. A very impressive swim from the 13-year-old City of Leeds representative. Turns and kicks in lane 4 and goes into her final throw of 50 metres. The clock now just up over 9 minutes. Remember, 9:43.29 is her personal best. Will she get inside that in this, the opening heat of the women's 800 freestyle? Inside 15 metres to go. The clock ticks past 9:20, so she is going to go quicker than she's ever been before in the competition in this event. 9:27.96. I think that deserves a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Smashing her personal best by all of 17 seconds. In now comes Emily Watts in lane 5. 9:44.12, so just outside her best, but still another quality swim in lane 5. And coming in lane 3 now, the final 10 metres in heat number 1 for Charlotte Howman in the white cap. It'll be just outside 10 minutes, 10:01.10 for Charlotte Howman. So Goodwin first, Watts second, Howman third. The results confirmed up on the board there. That was heat 1 of the women's 800 freestyle. Next up, heat 2.
Take your mark.
And away we go then with heat number 2. You can see the leg kicks at the start in the first 50 or 100 from these sort of longer swims. Of course, 800 for these girls, the longest of swims indoors. Getting themselves with a decent start in order to build on over the next 500 metres or so to then poise themselves for the final couple of hundred and to, of course, come in around those first few spots. A mixture of categories then in this one as we start to welcome 14-year-old swimmers. In lane 1 from City of Coventry is Amy Hood. And 2 from City of Liverpool, Lois Keys. 3 from Borough of Kirklees is Chloe Hurst. In 4 from City of Salford is Isabel Hartley. 5 from Tigers Jersey, Alyssa Polak. 6 from Chesterfield is Amber Downham. 7 from Nova Centurion is Lauren Shipley. And in lane 8, currently joint first at the moment from Bromley, is Tamrin van Selm. Bromley coach near us just filming Tamrin van Selm's race. I'm sure he'll have a sore arm after this one with 16 lengths of the pool. Of course, a lot of the coaches like to film on their tablets or their camera devices the races of their swimmers in order to be able to analyse it and sit down with the swimmers and show them where they did well, where they could possibly improve. You definitely need a lot of storage on your device in order to record one of these races. At the moment, though, very tight in the early stages, as you would expect. And I think this is predominantly how the swimmers like it as well. I used the analogy the other day with Laura. Of course, Laura knowing a lot more about swimming than I did, and do now. But, of course, in a game of snooker, you get the reds all together at the start of the frame, and then as soon as they're destroyed and the pack is open, things just start to not necessarily go to plan, but at the moment, if you like, all the reds are together. And everyone ticking along nicely and keeping up alongside each other on the whole. Of course, as someone does pull out, then things start to change. It's all about, though, at what point do you pull away from the rest of the pack? In the 1500s with the men the other day, on day 2, so a lot of swimmers going out right from the first 100 and deciding that they were going to gamble from the outside lanes in particular and disrupt whatever game plans were going off in the central lanes. These girls not as daring so far. Some may argue that not as silly to go out from the start and let the adrenaline get to your head. But for some swimmers, it certainly does work coming out right from the top. So leading the way, coming towards the wall at the scoreboard end, 6 and 8. Amber Downham of Chesterfield and Tamrin van Selm of Bromley.
Well, as you began to allude to there, Jono, this is a real test of everything for a swimmer. Of course, you need to have the physical ability to complete a consistent 800 metres, but also it's a test psychologically as well. Different swimmers with different race plans. And it's important that you execute your own, because if you get caught up in a battle with a swimmer that doesn't suit you, that's when it can really come unstuck. So strong physically and mentally these swimmers have to be successful in the 800 freestyle. Of course, the different tactics as well. We haven't seen anyone going out particularly hard, which means, like in the first heat, we can expect some strong finishes. Isabel Goodwin from City of Leeds got quicker and quicker as the race went on, and as a result, posted a 17-second personal best, a phenomenal performance out of the middle lane in the first heat. But in these middle lengths here, just settling in, and it's all pretty tight as well. Let's have a look at the differences between the swimmers at the splits here. So 4:45.25, Amber Downham turns in first. Tamrin van Selm from Bromley, 4:45.31 in second, and 4:46.25 in third for Isabel Hartley. So even at this steady pace, only around about a second separating the top 3. In lane 5, Alyssa Polak from Tigers Jersey. She's just in danger of being cut off from the pack at the moment. Maintaining a steady pace and certainly not pushing it to play catch-up. I'm sure she's got plenty left in the tank, but she's not in contention for the top times at the moment, as we have 7 lengths to go, as she is the last to turn. Out in front currently in lane 6, Amber Downham in that red cap. To her right-hand side, all the way out there in lane 8, Tamrin van Selm in second. And in third, in that middle lane, Isabel Hartley. Hartley, 9:38.41, is the fastest time going into the pool, but only 3 seconds, which over 800 metres isn't a great deal at all, separating the entire field. Pace seems to have gone slightly up in the last couple of lengths, though, particularly from the leaders. Downham, van Selm, and Isabel Hartley. all just up in the pace, and then noticing that and making a move is Lois Keys in lane 2, so the lead pretty much spread out, which if you're in front works well for you because you haven't got anything to distract you and you can swim your own race. However, sometimes having someone next to you go in a similar place just drags you along. You can sink in with them and time it as those 5-length boards go up at the far end. Very, very important job there from the judges. Then Alyssa Polak from Tigers jersey in lane 5 is the last to kick off with 5 lengths to go. Still, Amber Downham though. She's about a length in front now. This is the biggest that lead's been. It's been so tight in this second heat of the Women's Open 800 metres. So 200 to go. Downham in first, Van Selm second, Isabel Hartley third. That's the way it's been for probably the last 7 or 8 lengths here. Is the pace going to settle in, or is one of them going to bolt and make a move, because there are good times up for grabs?
It's very interesting indeed when you return to this race a couple of 100 metres on from where I left it. Nothing's really changed too much, but it's more or less everyone as they were, but a bit furtherly spread out than where they were before. 150 metres to go. Amber Downham is still the one to beat here in lane 6, but she's now left behind Tammy Van Selm in 8. And the next contender will be that of Isabel Hartley in lane 4 as City of Salford. And of course, as we get to this stage in the race, these swimmers are well aware with the cards from the officials and also in their heads as well, counting down the lengths of exactly where they are at the moment in terms of the grand scheme of the race. They know how long there is to go, and they know exactly what they need to do at that point. And of course the bell is the biggest signifier of them all. Amber Downham hearing that din first then and turning round with 8:20.99 as the split time, and the hurry scurry well and truly on now. You see the kicks begin to get more intense, particularly of Tammy Van Selm as well in lane 8, and trying to scurry her way forward as well at some speed is Lois Keys of City of Liverpool. To her left soon, if she's not careful, she will have company to her side, and that'll be Chloe Hurst of Borough of Kirklees. Still trying to push her way towards the front is Isabel Hartley of City of Salford. Of course, always a bit of pressure on those in lane 4 coming in to these long distance events. Fastest seed, they are usually expected to go out and set the pace. It's not really been the case though for the Salford swimmer. 9:38.41 was her entry time. She looks as if she may come very close to that, but quicker than her. Amber Downham of Chesterfield all the way through this as well. She's in the 12-13 year category. She'll know exactly what the pace was set at in Heat 1. She's got a couple of contenders to knock out the way here as well. There'll be a couple of 12 to 13-year-old swimmers coming up later on in these heats too. So she is certainly laying down the new benchmark now. And she comes towards the wall. Amber Downham of Chesterfield, the pace setter all the way through on 9:30.62. Second held by Tammy Van Selm, who did really well in the end to battle ahead of Isabel Hartley, less than a second separating those two. Tammy Van Selm on 9:32.6 and Isabel Hartley on 9:33.46. So that is your provisional top 3. Of course, the confirmation coming through very soon indeed. Alyssa Polak of Tigers jersey coming in now. Not the ideal race for her, but 9:58.58, getting it under 10 minutes. It's not bad going at all, even though she may not be happy with that. To be able to swim 800 metres after a very busy week here at Ponds Forge is some achievement nonetheless. Amber Downham top them, Tammy Van Selm second, and Isabel Hartley confirmed as completing the fastest trio. Up next is Heat 3.
Let's meet the swimmers in heat number 3. In lane 0, in the near side from our commentary position. From Deventio XL, it's Harmony Torrington. with an entry time of 9:38.20. From Norwich in 1 is Tilly Anima. From Tynemouth in lane 2, Lucy Headley. Going in lane 3 from City of Oxford is Megan Schmidt. Adele Zakrzewski of Wycombe District goes in lane 4 in the middle. No swimmer in lane 5. In 6 from Sutton Cheam, it's Alice Nickett as we reach 100 metres. In lane 7 from Royal Wolverhampton goes Katie Leary. No swimmer in lane 8 either, so out there on her own in lane number 9 from York City in the orange cap is Amy Durrant. Of course, this heat, just like the others, seeded based on personal bests and entry times. Adele Zakrzewski, Wycombe District, she's got the quickest, 9:35.60. Real mix of ages, though. A couple of 13-year-olds in there. Harmony Torrington in lane 0 from Derventio. She's 13, as is Lucy Headley from Tynemouth in lane 2. Katie Leary, Royal Wolverhampton, also 13 years of age. All the way up to the 3, should I say, oldest, 16 years of age. Amy Durrant in lane 9. Alice Nickett in lane 6. And Tilly Anima in lane 1. All 16 years of age. And it's one of those 16-year-olds from Sutton Cheam, Alice Nickett in the blue suit and the red cap. Leading at the turn there, 2:17.69, just behind her, Adele Zakrzewski. 2:19.31. Megan Schmidt, City of Oxford, turns in third, 2:19.57. So those out there in the middle lanes are the early pace setters. At this point now, as the lane judges make their way to the end to signify 11 laps remaining, all the swimmers should be in their rhythm now. They'll sit at a similar pace for these middle laps. This is where the stamina really kicks in. This is where they show their quality and their consistency. And as Jono said earlier, this is a tough race at the end of a long week. These athletes really have to take care of themselves, which is difficult at an exciting race meet like this. Of course, we welcome swimmers from all over the country. Many of them will only see each other at meets, so the temptation to let all that excitement, all that nervous energy boil over must be hugely tempting. But they do incredibly well to keep a lid on it, take on all the food that they need to, get all the rest that they need to, and consistently put in some superb performances, which is exactly what we've seen throughout the Swim England National Summer Meet here at Ponds Forge. So 9 laps to go coming up for the leaders in heat number 3 of this women's 800. And Alice Nickett from Sutton Cheam, 4:04.89. She's making light work of this. 2.5 seconds ahead of second place, which is Megan Schmidt, City of Oxford. Amy Durrant in third. She's doing well out there in lane 9 with no benchmark inside it. It's a lonely swim out there. So keep this noise up, Ponds Forge. There's lots of encouragement, still plenty of swimming to come. During that length there, Alice Nickett from Sutton Cheam extending her lead again. She's very much enjoying this race. Not the fastest in the pool if we're going in terms of lead times. But as we consistently alluded to, these age group swimmers train in a certain way, continuously trying to better themselves, and the personal bests have tumbled quite significantly throughout the week. We've had some finals in some of the shorter events where all 10 finalists have broken their personal bests to find their place in that final. Truly remarkable results. With 7 lengths to go in this third heat of the women's 800 freestyle. 7 heats in total and some really quick times as we get through to heat number 7. But Alice Nickott really making a statement here. She's got a 2 or 3 length advantage from Megan Smith, who herself has a 2-length advantage over Lucy Headley in lane 2. And over there on the far side, Amy Durrant, who's swimming quite a metronomic, consistent race, but out there on her own, just has no one really to get on the shoulder of and keep a marker with. 6 minutes gone here in heat number 3 of the women's 800.
We said earlier on in the week when we had the we had the 400s obviously yesterday with the women, and we also had the 1500 with the men earlier on this week as well, and we saw a few vacated lanes, and we were talking about how difficult it is for those swimmers with open water around them, not really having someone to base their swimming on. But that certainly is not phasing Alice Nickott at the moment of Sutton Cheam. Of course, she has that empty lane to her left, and also in lane 4, Adele Zakrzewski of Wickham District is so far behind as well out of Alice Nickott's side. She shouldn't really know where everyone else is around her, but she's just carrying on, going about her business very well indeed, and keeping a strong pace that she will have obviously spoken about with her coach. Currently in second. A similar position as well, with no one really either side of her. Here's Megan Smith of City of Oxford. And a bit tighter for third so far, with Lizzie Henley in lane 2 of Tynemouth, and lane 9 Amy Durrant of York City as well. Of course, not necessarily about where you finish in the heats as ever, but of course, the higher you finish in the heats, the more promising it is, especially when you have swimmers in that heat with you that are similar age category to you. Plethora of them in this one, 12 to 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds, 16-year-olds as well, fairly represented. So 3 sets of medals being in pursuit of in this one. And we're into the final 150 metres now. This is where you begin to see the splash begin to be a bit more prominent, and that is certainly the case with Megan Smith of City of Oxford now. In lane 3. Every now and then there'll be a big flurry of water just flying in the air from her feet. That's also a bit of the case as well with Alice Nickott of Sutton Cheam going in lane 6, who now hears the bell and knows she really has to get going. And of course, even if she finishes in this race way ahead of everybody else, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a massive success for her, because she'll still have other swimmers coming in her age category later on in these heats. She is a 16-year-old, and there are 16-year-olds present all the way up to the penultimate heat, heat number 6. So she's got to make sure she just swims against the clock, directly against herself, and cannot get complacent at any time. And that is more or less what she's doing right now as well. Megan Smith in 3 has been doing a super job so far as well. She's in the 14-year category, and just behind her in lane 2 is Lucy Henley in the 12-13-year-old category. And of course, the younger the age group and the further we get on the heats, the more likely we're to see serious medal contenders. Lucy Henley will definitely feel like she is one of them in that youngest age group. But we look towards the front, it's a bit more of an unknown quantity for Alice Nickott in the 16 years category. It's all about the time she can get. She's been cheered all the way towards the finish. Every single stroke counts. She touches the wall with a time of 9:26.33, which is an improvement on the entry by 10 seconds, which is absolutely substantial, but no surprise from what we've seen this morning. Second spot, Megan Smith of City of Oxford on 2:29.94. She was being urged down by her coaches all the way towards the finish there, and she could take a nice long lunch break now after that one. And in third position, Lucy Headley of Tynemouth on 9:33.76 leads home the rest of the pack and completes the fastest trio in the process. All 8 of the swimmers now home, and we are able to view confirmation of those results in ascending order. It goes Alice Nickott top, Megan Smith second, Lucy Headley in third. Of course, they'll have to wait and sit tightly to see how they find themselves in the final standings. But for now, we can move on to heat 4.
All swimmers passed the first 25 metres then in heat number 4 of this open 800 metre freestyle. Up go the 15 laps remaining boards. It seems a long time when they kick off from there. Let's meet the swimmers. Alexandra Palatai-Avela from Bournemouth Collegiate goes in lane 0. Next to her in lane 1, Sydney Bairstow from Blackpool Aquatics. Alice Fender goes in lane 2 from Hemel Hempstead, and in 3 from Poole, Tegan May Graham. No swimmer in the yellow roped lane number 4. So in lane 5, Alice Richards from Deventio goes. Sophie Freeman turns in second place. She goes in lane 6 from Colchester. In 7, from Ellesmere College Titans is Rosie Holland, and her teammate in lane 8 is Eleanor Bainbridge. And over there on the far side in the purple suit and the dark hat from Sevenside, Jessica Part. Well, there are 5 separate age categories in this competition. Of course, as Jono alluded to in that last race, winning your heat certainly doesn't signify the fact that you'll be on the podium later. We will be bringing you the medal ceremonies as soon as the 7 races are done as well, so do stick with us for that. These 800 metre swimmers have really put it in and will continue to do so. So we'd like you to hang around and celebrate their gold, silver and bronze medals with us. The youngest category for 12 and 13-year-olds. We've got 2 13-year-olds in this race, so they'll be looking to put a dent in that podium a little bit later. Alexandra Palatai-Avela in lane 0. She's 13, as is Sophie Freeman. In fact, they'll be the last 2 13-year-olds to swim. However, in heat 6, with a fantastic personal best of 9:25.01, Chloe Baxter from City of Leicester will swim. So she's the gold medal favourite in the 12 and 13s category. Then it's 14-year-olds. We've got 2 14-year-olds in this race. Eleanor Bainbridge of Ellesmere College Titans and Jessica Part of Sevenside. They're in lanes 8 and 9 over on the far side. So that's an interesting battle worth keeping your eye on over there. Bainbridge with the slightly quicker personal best of 9:34.33 against 9:35.42. So they're in the same category. 8 and 9, keep your eye on them. Then 15 years of age is its own category, as is 16 years of age. And then 17 years and over, the open age. They're in their own competition. No one in that category here. The 2, 3, 4, 5 in the 16 years of age. A Sydney Bairstow in 1, Alice Fender in 2, Tegan May Graham in 3, Alice Richards in 5, and Rosie Holland of Ellesmere College Titans, who goes in lane 7. So lots of subplots here throughout these heats of the women's 800. Your 2 leaders at the moment, Sophie Freeman in lane 6. The 13-year-old, remember, one of 2 in the youngest category. She's got a PB of 9:31.97. We talked about conserving that energy throughout the competition, didn't we? It seems like the youngsters have it in abundance. Trust me, teenagers, it wanes as you get older, I'll tell you that. But going well in lane 6 at the moment is Sophie Freeman of Colchester. In lane 3, Tegan May Graham of Poole. They pass the 25-metre point in this length. Pretty much neck and neck. In 3rd place, about a body length ahead of the rest of the chasing pack, is Rosie Holland there in lane 7. Then to her right in lane 8, Eleanor Bainbridge, around about a length behind. Alice Richards from Deventio, the quickest in the pool. She's got a bit of work to do at the moment in that gold cap. Perhaps 5 or 6 lengths behind the leaders. There's been no real movement for the last couple of laps. Again, we hit that mid-period in this 800 metres where the swimmers seem to have found their rhythm. They're all at a similar pace. And then we wait for them to make the move. 7 lengths remaining in this heat number 4 of the women's 800 meters open freestyle.
And once again, the void being created in the empty lane. This time, lane 4, not really causing any harm for our leaders, particularly Tegan May Graham in 3 of Paul, who is right next to that lane number 4. And of course, lane 2 as well. Alice Fender is quite a bit behind her at the moment. In fact, she'll wave past her as she comes onto this next set of 50. It's interesting to see those two in the yellow caps that are leading the way, looking away from each other as they breathe for air, and you wonder how aware of each other they are. Of course, it's a strange situation to be in a race where you know that there's a medal at stake, but you actually don't know who you've got to beat, what time you've got to beat in order to get on that podium. A bit like a time trial for these swimmers. It's a very difficult position to be in. The two at the front now are beginning to address each other as they look up for air. Tegan May Graham in 3, Sophie Freeman in 6. Still the two out in front. You can see a pair in lanes 7 and 8 with Rosie Holland and Ella Bainbridge just sort of dragging each other up alongside as well. Ellesmere College Titan swimmers. Of course, I asked Laura yesterday if teammates can sort of work together in sort of environment. In the end, I felt quite naive saying that, because she abruptly replied, it's dog eat dog out there. So very soon indeed, Eleanor Bainbridge and Rosie Holland will try and scamper away from each other if they're not already. Of course, it is difficult as well in these races when you do have people next to each other, trying to tell if they're both swimmers trying to pull away from each other, or they're both swimmers that are happy where they are and they're happy to stay next to each other for a bit. Eleanor Bainbridge in lane 8 may be trying to pull away right now from Rosie Holland. It's certainly not happening for her. Rosie Holland almost throwing syrup on the road in front of Eleanor Bainbridge, which is really beginning to slow her down. So the gap between those two, more or less as you were 100 metres ago. Both in different age categories as well, of course. Eleanor Bainbridge in the younger category, so it is good for her to have a teammate who is older as well to push her on even further and faster than she may have done otherwise. The bells are getting ready then at the scoreboard end. First official up in lane 6 to greet Sophie Freeman on her final 100 metres. Julie coming next in is Tegan May Graham as we now go into the final set of 100.
Well, interesting you mentioned the teammates there, Jono. I think they all want each other to do well, as long as it's not quite as well as them. But this is a very impressive swim from lane 6 by Sophie Freeman. Remember, she is in the youngest age classification, the 12 and 13 years. And barring something fairly serious in the last 60 metres, she's going to put herself in real contention for a place in the medal. The place on the podium. The number 1 is in the hands of the lane judge, which means she powers into her last 50 metres here. And there's that extra kick, that final bit of energy. She won't leave anything in the pool here, as the white caps of water just kick up behind her. That yellow cap, she's going to win this, you know. 25 metres to go. It's a strong finish as well from Tegan May Graham. She's in the 16 years of age category, and she's going to put in a healthy time as well. And Sophie Freeman, 9:31 was her personal best going into this. She is going to smash that. 9:23.08 for Sophie Freeman from Colchester. Tegan May Graham comes back in 9:25.71, a comfortable personal best for her as well. Still on the last day in these testing events, these swimmers here at Ponds Forge still setting personal records, a real testament to their ability and their commitment. In come lane 0 and lane 9. Palatai Avela 9:48.74, Jessica Park 9:48.43. And there are the results confirmed. Sophie Freeman of Colchester, 9:23.08 for the win. Tegan May Graham takes second. Eleanor Bainbridge takes third. That was heat number 4. Next, heat number 5.
Off we go then with heat 5 of 7. No lane 0 in this heat, but in 1. From Southport is Jessica Morgan. 2 from Stockport Metro, Charlotte Kennedy. In lane 3 from City of Liverpool is Hannah Kelsall. Safira Gabani represents City of Sheffield in lane 4. And 5 from Deepings, Chloe Jones. Northampton's Anne-Marie Hudman is in 6. And 7 from City of Leeds is Catherine Russell. 8 from UEA City of Norwich, Charlotte Walker. And completing the pool in lane 9 from South Croydon is Amy Davies, who's getting support on Twitter from Hannah, saying make South Croydon proud. It's been a decent start from her. No one really falling back at the moment. As you've seen for many of these heats so far, no one really pushing out right from the start and being able to escape from the pool, which is probably the safest bet. It can certainly go one of 2 ways. You can either end up coming out first after you burst from the front right from the start, or you can end up being carried out of the pool, and I'm sure you'd much rather have the former. Or you could just keep it safe like these swimmers, keep ticking along nicely alongside each other and make sure you're in a fine position to strike in the dying embers. Do make sure you keep your tweets of support coming in as well. Hashtag SE Swimming, like Hannah has. Ripley Sports sending a couple of well dones as well, and a good look too. A well done to Rio Quarry, received 6 in the 50-metre breaststroke, and also a good look to Tom Dugdale, who goes in the final of the 50 butterfly tonight. Hashtag as ever SE Swimming. And also make sure you're joining Dave's little competition as well to guess what the world record is for the women's 800 metre freestyle. I've had a go. I've seen the answer. I'm not a million miles out, but I'm sure someone here watching on the live stream or in venue will be able to get a little bit closer. So do make sure you have a bit of a guess at that on the hashtag SE Swimming.
And the rules are no Googling. Everyone can Google. Just have a guess. It's interesting. I mean, times of these swimmers here, we're looking at 9:25.89 was the quickest entry time. That's Safira Gabani from City of Sheffield. Amy Davis from South Croydon, 9:28.81. So in age group categories, when seconds can just disappear, on paper this is a very close race. But when we've got swimmers here, the best of English swimmers around 9:25, 9:26, let us know what you think the world record is for the women's 800-metre freestyle. We talked about a couple of subplots here. Currently leading Jessica Morgan from Southport on this near side in the black cap, lane 1. She's got no one outside her. But in her line of vision, breathing to her left-hand side, is the person she's currently vying for the lead with in lane 4, which is Safira Gabani. But we talk about subplots. So in terms of age groups here, in lane 3, Hannah Kelsall, City of Liverpool, is essentially racing against herself because she is the only 18-year-old in the open age category, the 17 and overs, in this race. And of course, not always the case, but you'd expect the 17 and over race to be faster than the 16s, the 15s, the 14s, etc. So to put herself in contention, she's really going to have to swim quickly here. We've got 2 entrants in the 14 years, Jessica Morgan in lane 1 and Safira Gabani in lane 4. They're both in the 14s. But in this heat number 5, the 15 years category is the most represented. 6 swimmers: Charlotte Kennedy, Chloe Jones, Anne-Marie Hudman, Catherine Russell, Charlotte Walker and Amy Davis, all competing for top spot in the 15 years. 5 minutes gone in this heat. And the next number they see on the board will be 7. 350 metres to go. They're over halfway. They've settled into their rhythms. Now, it's a case of knowing how much you've got in the tank and knowing when to make that move, to push on, to make your best time. Jessica Morgan of Southport, the 14-year-old, is looking comfortable in lane 1, though. We mentioned earlier that she had no one outside her in lane 0, but she's left lane 2 in her wake as well. That's Charlotte Kennedy from Stockport Metro. And she's opened up a lead of nearly a length over Safira Gabani as well. Interesting, they're the two youngest swimmers in this heat. However, they're the pace setters at the moment. Not letting them get away, though. In lane 9, Amy Davis from South Croydon. Of course, we had that text from Hannah Davis. Hello, Hannah. Hope you're enjoying the swimming. If you are watching at home on the live stream, do drop in on Twitter using the hashtag SESwimming to say hello. Also in lane 7, Catherine Russell, City of Leeds, in that yellow City of Leeds cap. She's in the 15s category and giving a good account of herself here now with 5 lengths or 250 metres to go. KC2703's tweeted in, good luck Chani. Give it all you've got, bring home another medal. Lots of love from your little sis. One of the great things about these swim meets here is the family love we get both in the venue and on Twitter as well. And everyone, whether you're watching here, whether you're following via Twitter or whether you're watching at home on the live stream, is very, very welcome at Ponds Forge for the Swimming England National Summer Meet. Let's get back to the race here then. Heat 5 of the women's 800 with 2 heats to come after this. And Jessica Morgan of Southport putting on quite the display here as she reaches the halfway point of her latest lap. 9:27.08 is her personal best. It's slower than Safira Gabani's, however, that is who she leads at the moment. It is Morgan from Gabani, the two 14-year-olds, but over on the far side in lane number 9, Amy Davis starting to get herself on terms in that green suit with the light blue cap. Everyone now turned for 3 laps to go. So we'll be hearing some bells very shortly. Who'll get the bell first? There's been a little bit of change of order here because Jessica Morgan still leads, but over on the far side in lane 9, Amy Davis has taken second place, and there are the bells. Amy Davis from South Croydon really coming into this now. She's left 3rd and 4th place in her wake. What a well-timed race this is from her. Does she have enough left in the tank to challenge Jessica Morgan? They're a long way from each other. Morgan in lane 1, Amy Davis in lane 9. The two in the middle there, in between them, in lane 7, Catherine Russell, and Gabani in lane 4. They're a long way behind now, so it's going to be between Jessica Morgan and Amy Davis for 1st and 2nd place here in Heat 5 of the women's 800 metres. Jessica Morgan has controlled the pace of this race pretty much from the outset, but we've talked about tactics throughout, and Amy Davis has left a lot in the tank here, and she's getting herself on terms. She's still about half a length behind and maybe has left it late to claim the win, but she is going to post a very, very good time here. Jessica Morgan takes it in 9:20.81, 6.5 seconds. That's a personal best. Second place goes to Amy Davis of South Croydon, 9:21.54. Another gargantuan personal best. Safira Gabani, City of Sheffield, the 14-year-old, posts 9:25.76. PB for her, but a lot closer to her old one, just 0.16 of a second. And that is all of these heat swimmers in now as we wait confirmation of the times. But provisionally, some excellent scores there. And there it is. Jessica Morgan, 9:20.81. Kennedy, 2nd. Kelsall, 3rd. That was Heat 5. Next up, Heat 6. Away we go then in heat 6. 2 heats remaining in this final event of the morning session. Of course, we're going to be having the medal presentations as well, so do stick with us for those. As we said before, these athletes slogging it out here for 800 hard meters, and I think we should all stick around to help them celebrate their victories here for gold, silver and bronze. In lane 0, just reaching 75 meters in the pink and purple swimsuit and the purple hat, is Zara Lalou from Wrekin College. Just to her right in lane 1 from Doncaster Darts is Lucy Clark. In lane 2, the last participant in the 12 and 13 age categories, 12 years old from City of Leicester, it's Chloe Baxter, and being in this seeded heat, a good swim could really put her in contention, not just for any medal, but for that gold medal too. 9:25.01, a very impressive personal best for the 12-year-old. In lane 3, in the yellow cap and the black suit from Barnet Copthall, it's Annalise Carver-Varela. Into the golden lanes in the middle, Abby Bowden from Kingston upon Hull is in 4. And Abby Lowe from Chelmsford goes next to her in 5. Onto the far side. In lane 6 is Charlotte Prince Rayner from Winchester. The second Doncaster Dart goes in lane 7 at Chantel War. Then the 14-year-old in lane 8 from Kingston upon Hull is Megan Gray. And completing the entrance into heat 6 on the far side in lane 9 in the white cap and the green suit is Molly Francis from Mount Kelly. Lucy Clark from Doncaster Darts, the early pace setter, 2:14.77 at the split from lane 1. Annalise Carver-Varela from Barnet Copthall in second, with 12 laps to go here. Lane 1's been particularly quick in these 800-meter heats. Again, that's down to, particularly in the heats with the rankings, very often the times being a red herring here because of the rapid improvements of these age group swimmers. Let's talk about the age groups represented here. Then, of course, 12 and 13 is the youngest, then 14s, 15s, 16s, and then 17 plus is the open age category. Annalise Carver-Varela is the only one swimming in that 17 plus. We've got a few 16-year-olds here. Molly Francis in lane 9 from Mount Kelly. Chantel Watt from Doncaster Darts. Zara Lalou and Lucy Clark, both 16 as well, in lane 0 and 1. So they'll know that. And they'll know that a victory over someone in the lane next to them in the same age category will definitely put them in the mix, or at least one up the ladder when it comes to finally ranking the times here. And at the moment in that battle, it's Lucy Clark from Doncaster Darts not only leading Zara Lalou, but leading everybody else in the field as well. A couple of 15-year-olds as well, and they're hogging the middle lanes, so they'll know exactly what they have to do to better their opponents. Abby Bowden, Abby Lowe and Charlotte Prince Rayner go in 4, 5 and 6, and the only 14-year-old is Megan Gray from Kingston upon Hull. And in fact, she's the last 14-year-old left in the competition, because in heat 7 the youngest is Megan Vingo in the 15s. Everyone else 17 and over. So at the next turn they'll have 8 laps to go, and it's still Lucy Clark, 4:35.46. Abby Bowden and Annalise Carver-Varela in 4 and 3, the closest to her.
And of course, the pool looking a lot busier this time around as well, after the last few heats where we have had 1 or 2 lanes vacated. All lanes occupied here. And it's definitely making for a very interesting picture indeed. Oh, Sammy O'Brien's got involved in Dave's little teaser there, tea time teaser, and it's a couple of seconds out. Well, very unlucky indeed. Of course, that competition being, can you get the record for the 100-metre women's world record? And Sam, very close there. Do keep sending in your entrance to the hashtag SC Swimming. Closer than me anyway, Sam. Fascinating to see lanes 5 and 6 here. Abby Lowe and Charlotte Prince Reina of Chelmsford and Winchester respectively. They may not be out in front, but they're keeping very close to each other indeed, and also relatively close company alongside them is Annalise Carver-Varela in lane 3 of Barnett Copthall. Lane 0 is Ella Leilu, more or less that level pegging with them as well, but I don't know where she will be of that, being on the outside lane. Which usually when you are ranked on the outside, if you sort of sat up, you could look at the whole pool. But of course, when you're swimming for such a long distance, you haven't really got the time to take everything in around you. It's a quick glance up for Zara Leilu as she takes an intake of breath as she looks towards her left-hand side. And Lucy Clark is the one still out in front. She herself has a lot of open pool around her. That cluster in the centre still ticking away nicely. They've got their own individual battles going on there. And of course, Dave mentioned so many different permutations in this race due to the range of age categories that we witness from 12 to 13 all the way up to the seniors here. Every single age category is represented in this pool. And for 3 of the age categories, this is as far as their interest runs in this competition. Lucy Clark, one of those in the 16-year category. Of course, we had no 16-year-olds in the last heat, so the benchmark being set in heat 4. So it's been a long wait for Lucy Clark, and also Zara Leilu in 0, Chantel Waugh in 7, and Molly Francis in 9, all in that 16-year category as well, to go out there in the pool and show what they've got. And of course, it's equally as long a wait as well for those earlier on in the heats who are itching to find out whether or not they will be back for the medal ceremony at the end of the next heat. Of course, medal presentation for all 5 of the age categories. Bronze, silver and gold in each of them, taking place at the conclusion of heat number 7. Coming to the nitty-gritty now of this penultimate heat, and the first one to hear the bell will be Lucy Clark in one of Doncaster darts. And I said that there was a mix in the centre beginning to descend upon the front, and that is really beginning to come into play now, and you'll see the urgency begin to happen with Abby Bowden, who now gets the bell. She didn't directly get the bell first because that was Lucy Clark's, but those even at the back now not getting a bell from their lane judge will be hearing the bells around them and knowing that it's very close towards the end of this one. So the kicks start to come into play. Lucy Clark of Doncaster darts has done a wonderful job so far. It won't mean too much if she doesn't keep up that sort of pace towards the end here. Look at lane 5. Abby Lowe of Chelmsford has really managed to keep some energy in the tank here to close down the gap between her and Abby Bowden of Kingston upon Hull, and those two are going to be right at it together in the final 50 metres. So close, more or less side by side. Lucy Clark has managed to keep her lead intact. She looks as if she will win the battle of the 16-year-olds. That was more or less confirmed around 200 metres ago, which is the way she swum this race. She's going to be pushed all the way, though, by those in the other categories in 4 and 5, Abby Bowden and Abby Lowe, who themselves are directly in the 15-year category, and this could be, in the end, a battle between a medal. Touching in first, Abby Bowden out of those two. First overall, Lucy Clark on 9:17.86. Then we move 9 hundredths of a second back for Abby Bowden in second, ahead of Abby Lowe in third. It was very close between those indeed. Charlotte Prince Reina third out of the 15-year-olds in that heat. Touching in fifth, Zara Leilu of Wrekin College on 9:25.18. She'll be interested to see how that manages to see it pitted up against those in the 16-year category as well at the conclusion of these heats. But for now, we'll take a look at the confirmed results for heat number 6, the penultimate heat, of course, of the women's 800-metre freestyle. And there we have it. Lucy Clark on top, Abby Bowden second, Abby Lowe in third. They've done all they can. Now it's over to our final heat, heat 7.
Well, what a remarkable sprint finish that was from Abby Bowden in the last heat. That was enough for second place for her, and a great time too, but conserve that amount of energy is some going. But this is the final race of the morning before we move into the medal presentation ceremonies that I know all of you will stick with us for to help celebrate these swimmers' achievements this morning. Already completed the opening 50 metres. And as we approach 75, let's meet the swimmers in the final heat of the Women's Open 800-metre freestyle. In lane 0, the only 15-year-old left to swim. From Cambrai, it's Megan Vingo. Everybody else is in the 17 and overs open age category. So the 12s and 13s done, 14s done. Just Megan Vingo to go in the 15s. The 16s are done. And in lane 1 from City of Manchester Aquatics, Alana Hedges. From Mount Kelly in 2, Chloe Plater. In 3, Esther Halford of Deventio XL. Into the middle lanes, Megan Lever from Pioneer 79 goes in 4. And from Romford Town, Georgia Milton in 5. Moving on to the outside then, Laura Boardman, City of Salford goes in 6. In 7, from Hatfield, it's Amber Hughes. Taya O'Keefe from Poole goes in 8. And the most senior swimmer in the competition, at the ripe old age of 20, Lucy Pearce goes in lane 9 on the right-hand side there in the white cap. Bit more zip about these opening exchanges in this final heat. Plenty of pace, particularly in lanes 5 and 6. Georgia Milton and Laura Boardman. Boardman turning quickest there, 2:13.55. Milton second, 2:13.79. And Amber Hughes there of Hatfield over in lane number 7. Those three all next to each other, pushing the pace of the race at the moment. Pretty much a perfect diagonal line from lane 5 all the way down to lane 1. And a little bit more dog-legged on the left-hand side, which will become the right as soon as the swimmers turn, with 11 lengths to go. 350 metres gone. $250 metres gone. Terrible mathematics from me. This race just starting to settle in now then. And it's obvious that the pace setters are going to continue to do so. Georgia Milton with a yellow rope either side of her in lane 5. About a head length behind Laura Boardman, City of Salford, in lane 6. But Milton just getting a little bit more off the wall for the last couple of lengths. It's allowed her to get on level terms. And she's just been eating away almost an inch or 2 inches per length. And a huge credit to the supporters here inside Ponds Forge, because the noise is great already, and I'm sure as this race progresses, that will continue to be so. You guys have got as much energy as the swimmers here. The next number they see at the turn will be 9 lengths to go. Laura Boardman in the lead, Georgia Milton second, Amber Hughes third. That is a very, very interesting battle, and one that could not only be for this heat, but in fact for gold, silver and bronze medal overall in this women's 800-metre freestyle.
And of course, you mentioned the front three there, Dave. Just behind them in 4 is Megan Lever of Pioneer 79, who may not be with the front three at the moment, but she seems to have the calmest stroke of them all. The way she is going through the water, there isn't too much of a tepid nature about her. She's not chopping up the water at all. Her arms are very fluid. And those in front of her are currently faster than her. They seem to be a lot firmer with the arms as they go into the water. Of course, they will know a lot better than I do as to how much energy they'll be using by doing that, but Megan Lever definitely not worried at the moment that she's not with the front three and that she's behind. And that could put her in good stead for the remainder of this race. In lane 8 as well, Thea O'Keefe of Poole is more or less at level pegging with Megan Leaver at this moment in time as well. And of course, Megan Vingo in lane 0, more or less in a race of her own, the Cambria swimmer, being in the 15-year category. 9:24.09 was the entry time. She'll have to beat that in order to take the gold away from Sir Abbage that we saw in the last heat. Bowden and Lowe doing a cracking job, currently putting themselves poised at the top of the podium. Of course, that can change here, and Megan Vingo, you could say, it might work in her advantage, being in a heat where a lot of the other swimmers are faster and they are older than those in her age category, and therefore she can sort of follow suit and go along with them. Well, we said Megan Leaver more or less buying her time in lane 4 with the calm strokes, and it's for now put herself ahead of Amber Hughes in lane 7 of Hatfield. So as far as she's concerned, that's one down, a couple to go, and one of those two she is level with now. Georgia Milton in lane 5 of Romford Town. Laura Boardman still the one ahead then of City of Salford. Of course, the core, the arms, they start to get tired, and the legs as well have been going. Not too much, but a moderate amount. We're going into the final 200 very soon now. The legs will start to up the ante a little bit. The gears will be shifted a little bit higher as well. Boardman front, but tight in second between 4 and 5. Megan Leaver and Georgia Milton.
The one thing that non-swimmers don't take into account as well is the pace of the breathing. Very obviously, if you're running or you're walking and you want to take a deep breath, you can pretty much stop and do it, but not so much here. You're limited by the amount of time you can keep your head out of the water, and we're seeing breathing on both sides from Laura Boardman here, out of the left and out of the right, and that's standing here in good stead as she's got 3 lengths remaining, and she's really up the pace here. Remember the brilliant sprint finish from Abby Bowden in the previous heat to set that benchmark time. Which one of these swimmers can really turn it on and pull away from the field? Of course, these are the fastest seeded swimmers. So essentially, a win here for any one of these could end up in the gold medal. Of course, Megan Vingo out there on her own in lane 0 as well. She's still in contention for the medals in the 15 years category in this mixed age competition. There is the first bell then. It's for Laura Boardman, City of Salford, 8:02.11, as those bell jingles ring out around Ponds Forge. She's getting stronger as well, is Laura Boardman. This has been a great swim from her. In second place, Megan Leaver of Pioneer 79. Jono pointed her out with a few hundred meters to go, saying that she was cruising and she looked comfortable. Still the same here. You'd never think that she'd done coming on 750 meters of a race. In lane 4 for second place. In lane 5, it's Georgia Milton, but making moves out there in lanes 8 and 7. Atea O'Keefe and Amber Hughes as well. This one far from home unhosed. Laura Boardman then, City of Salford, approaching 25 meters to go. Still those big thrusts from either arm as the water kicks out from behind her. Those white flecks bouncing up in the air. In second place, it's going to be Megan Leaver. Laura Boardman's going to take the win here, though. It's been a solid effort from her, a fantastic swim, and she stops it in 9:10.03. Second place for Leaver, third place for Milton. We'll have to wait and see how those times stack up compared to the rest. But still swimmers coming in here. In lane 9, we have Lucy Pearce, and in lane 2, Chloe Plater. Let's clap them home then, ladies and gents. It's been a gargantuan effort from everybody here across 7 heats of women's 800-meter freestyle. And we await confirmation of the time, but Laura Boardman led for a lot more than half of that race, a 9:10.03, an incredibly impressive time, as is Pioneer 79's Megan Leaver. There it is confirmed. Boardman takes first in heat 7. Megan Leaver takes second. Georgia Milton takes third. That is the end of the racing here in this morning's session, but not the end of the action, because we still have the medal presentation ceremonies yet to come. Do stick with us. Of course, we'll be back for even more finals this afternoon, a slightly earlier start time than the rest of the week. 3 p.m. will be the first of the finals. And hopefully you'll be joining us, whether it's here inside Ponds Forge or whether you're watching at home. As soon as this medal presentation is done, we're pretty much going to be having warm-ups back in the pool. We'll let you guys get off and get some lunch so you can get back with your shouting voices ready to give it one last blast for these brilliant swimmers here in the finals at the Swim England National Summer Meet 2017. Had lots of action on Twitter, and we'd like that to continue through the lunch break as well. Let us know what you're looking forward to. Let us know who you're supporting. We've had a few entries into the women's 800-metre world record guess attempt. No one was as much of an anorak as me. It's actually 8:04.79, which is absolutely remarkable. There really are some incredible athletes across all sports. So keep those coming in then, keep your tweets coming in, keep your pictures coming in, because we do still have that bag to give away from TIA, our official kit supplier, here at the Swim England National Summer Meet 2017. An absolutely fantastic morning's swimming that's just stretched into the afternoon. We kick things off with the men's and women's 200 backstroke, followed by the 50 butterfly as well. And we saved the best till last. Some wonderful swimming in that 800 freestyle. We'll shortly be having medal presentations across the 5 categories, the 12s and 13s, the youngsters, followed by the 14s. And then we'll send them off, and it'll be followed by the 15s, 16s and 17 pluses. We don't give them an awful lot of time, do we? Particularly the last ones. They'll literally be out of the pool, quick towel over them and up onto the podium. But the smiles on their faces when they receive those Swim England medals will be entirely worth it. Some wonderful efforts at the end of what has been a grueling but rewarding week here. One thing that is for sure with the performances we've had from these youngsters is that the future of swimming in England and the UK is in good hands. Coaches have done a marvellous job, but it's been executed fantastically in the pool by the youngsters in what is a golden period for swimming in this country. Not just in the pool, but in terms of events as well. We spoke a little bit earlier about Glasgow 2018, that's in August next year, between the 2nd and the 12th. Tickets are available. Glasgow2018.com is the place to find out a little bit more about that. We're certainly going to be there, and we hope that you will be too. Glasgow2018.com.
Could please have all the medal winners for those 800-metre freestyle to the timing suite as soon as possible. Please, all the medalists of the 800-metre freestyle to the timing suite as soon as possible, please, so we can get the medal ceremony on the road.
So many swimmers there, of course, in the 800 freestyle and across 5 categories as well. They've got the abacuses out down there to make sure that they've got the correct results, because with that many entrants, over 60 in total, they need to make sure that everything's perfect before we bring them out and present them with their rewards of gold, silver and bronze here for the women's 800 freestyle. Still have lots of tweets coming in. Hannah Davis, well, she says, bronze medal for the awesome Amy, but I don't want to give away any spoilers, so I can't possibly confirm or deny that that's about to happen. But Hannah, thank you very much for tweeting in. We're so glad that you're here supporting Amy and everyone from South Croydon. Loftus Dolphins have been sending some pictures in as well. They fancy their chances of winning that tier kit bag. And a fantastic 3 finalists into the last session. Go for it, Henry, Hannah and Lottie. But now, it's time for the medal ceremonies.
Can we please have Tegan May Graham to the timing suite as soon as possible, please? Tegan May Graham to the timing suite. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the medal presentation for the women's 800 metre freestyle. The medal will be presented by Swim England President Anne Ray and Swim England Vice President Richard Whitehead. The winners of the bronze medals. In the 12 to 13 years category, representing City of Leeds, Isabel Goodwin. In the 14 years category, representing City of Oxford, Megan Smith. The winners of the silver medals. In the 12 to 13 years category, representing City of Leicester, Chloe Baxter. In the 14 years category, representing City of Sheffield, Safira Gabani. The winners of the gold medals. In the 12 to 13 years category, representing Colchester, Sophie Freeman. In the 14 years category, representing Southport, Jessica Morgan. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it one more time for your medal winners. Ladies and gentlemen, the medal presentation for the women's 800 metre freestyle. The winners of the bronze medals. In the 15 years category, representing South Croydon, Amy Davies. In the 16 years category, representing Poole, Tegan May Graham. In the 17 years and over category, representing Romford Town, Georgia Milton. The winners of the silver medals. In the 15 years category, representing Chelmsford, Abby Lowe. In the 16 years category, representing Wrekin College, Zara Leilu. In the 17 years and over category, representing Pioneer 79, Megan Lever. The winners of the gold medals. In the 15 years category, representing Kingston upon Hull, Abby Bowden. In the 16 years category, representing Doncaster Darts, Lucy Clark. In the 17 years and over category, representing City of Salford, Laura Boardman. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it one last time for your medal winners. So a big well done to all the medalists in the 800 metre freestyle there, and of course all the swimmers for taking part as well. Some fantastic racing, some very near misses as well, despite the fact it's over such a long breadth of 16 lengths. And a big thank you as well to all you spectators for sticking it out right to the end there and supporting our athletes through those very arduous swims. So as we go towards the lunch break, as Dave mentioned, a much shorter lunch break than usual. We'll be back for the finals at 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock is the finals today and not 5 o'clock. So we'll see you back here in Ponds Forge or on the live stream, myself, Jonathan Bell and Dave Rogers at 3 p.m. And we will also see our officials as well, who may now leave the poolside. Thank you.